The MC of this story is named Gu Yang-chun, and he was once a brilliant swordsman from a noble family, but he fell in with a bad crowd and ended up becoming a lowly soldier in the army of the Heavenly Demon. Now he sits defeated before the strongest swordswoman of light. Pointing her sword at his pathetic state, she insists on an answer. The guy is in a dreadful position, and goes on to reflect about the irony of his life, how the woman before him ended up as the Sovereign Sword's direct disciple. She is the same woman who utterly annihilated hundreds of demonic martial artists through her unmatched sword. In fact, this very same woman is the greatest martial artist the world has ever seen, and the odds of this guy running into her are shitty, because she's the same cold-blooded warrior who defeated the Heavenly Demon with her sword. Keep in mind, the Heavenly Demon began this hellish war between both sides, and it only ended because the warrior's blade pierced through the Heavenly Demon, finishing her off with a final slash. Meet the Heavenly Sword, Seola, who is out here shouting at the bastard who is refusing to answer her questions. The Divine Warrior is pissed that Yang-chan is still holding on to the information about the demon's hideout. An expression of regret and anger takes over her as she reminds the young man of the humanity he once had. But of course, even if he wanted to talk, this guy couldn't even say a single word. Why? Because the dude ended up getting the Jiraiya treatment from Naruto. His throat was crushed. Not to mention the very heart that's beating inside of him is marked with a terrifying curse. With every breath, the seal is making him live through hell, and also prevents him from revealing secret information. A tear trickles down the woman's face. The same warrior who had downed an entire army as well as the Heavenly Demon on her own is currently weeping in front of a half-dead man. She's practically begging the guy to just give a satisfying answer so that Seola can help him stay alive. I should point out that she doesn't know about his seal or curse, so she's thinking he's concealing information. Her fidgeting body and tear-filled expression, a sorrowful state of her begging, is actually a unique sight for the young man, who begins to wonder if she really hates the demonic martial artists that much. Maybe it's because of her fiancé, Sun Jung, who ended up getting kidnapped, which is why she's probably desperate. But the situation makes him let out a slight laugh, reflecting how the strongest woman in the entire world was currently wavering because of a love interest. His reaction causes her to get infuriated, as Seola tosses his ass to the ground like a football. At this point, she is fully provoked, despite her trembling state. She thinks the guy is being uncooperative for a reason, and regrets not killing him sooner. Her words linger inside his mind, as he begins to question when was the first time they encountered each other. From his memories, they met at a marketplace. Both were little children, and she was the first to approach him and offer him a potato. That beautiful little relationship resulted in such a twisted, dark turn, as this guy became a traitor who betrayed his own damn people to pursue the path of a demonic martial artist. It's clear as day that he's only got himself to blame in this situation. Though of course, even now, Seola's barely able to hold herself together while walking away. When suddenly she turns around to see the guy crawling and scribbling something on the ground. Confused, she questions what Yang-chan is doing in his state. Unfortunately, because he chose to reveal information, the seal took a heavy strain on his body, resulting in him vomiting a crap ton of blood. But even then, Yang-chan takes it like a champ and continues to scribble with his own blood, recalling that if he goes against the contract placed on his heart, it will implode and destroy his body. And that's exactly what happens. This dude literally had his heart annihilated as a consequence of betraying the demonic temple. The muffled voice of his long-lost friend is heard in the background, but it's too late. He's lost too much blood and can't even hear her. The beautiful thing about this is the fact that she's already caught on to his condition and is begging him to stop, but he still goes on. The only regret in Yang-chan's life is that he couldn't reveal the truth. He didn't actually betray the clan on purpose, but was tricked and forced into it. But that doesn't matter anymore, does it? And even Yang-chan takes it like a champ and accepts that it's still his fault as he finishes his scribbling. This is his final service to his friend, revealing critical information of the demon's hideout to Seola. But then, the effects of the seal cause an agonizing outburst and wreck his organs from the inside. In his final moments, Yang-chan ponders why things had to end this way. He remembers a sequence of him being helpless in front of his dying sister, who wished him a good life. Seola's voice screams into the alley where he can no longer hear her. Instead, Yang-chan is overwhelmed with the kind of regrets he led up to in his pointless existence. Another sequence comes fresh into his memory when Yang-chan finds a woman clinging to the edge of her life. She felt sorry for him, while he could only stare at her with a look of regret and sadness. Seola's voice roars loud, proclaiming his name again and again as her tears drip down onto his face. Finally, Yang-chan recalls the sequence of another loss he experienced. The white-haired woman rested in his grasp, murmuring to ask if he was crying. But Yang-chan always kept a tough exterior and told her that it's just the rain. Her final words were a request to know about the moon. In her dying words, she found herself relieved, and eventually her existence faded because of the gash she endured in her abdomen. The same Yang Qion, who was once a member of House Ku of Sanseo, a house that was known for being virtuous and righteous, ended up becoming the worst traitor and became a demonic martial artist. And now, his fleeting existence mattered little as he was going to die as a consequence of the war after his defeat. That is supposed to be the penultimate ending to his life, and it's exactly as miserable as it sounds. As he closes his eyes, Siola's voice actually starts becoming clear in his mind. But there's a catch this time. It's the same little girl asking if he wants a potato. Yang Chion's eyes widened with shock as he appeared standing in the same marketplace on that fateful day, not knowing how he'd returned to the past. Our boy stands absolutely clueless, recalling how he gruesomely experienced his death after breaking the forbidden seal. I mean, bro's heart literally burst open. There's no coming back from that one. His final memory was him being in Siola's grasp as he was shouting his name. But now, he could feel the heartbeat coursing through his body like it never even happened. Not to mention his midget body, as he'd become much shorter and younger. It's as if he was daydreaming about the past, and Siola's past self stood there just staring at him in confusion. Yang Chun tries his best to recall the exact words he told her in his original life. Slapping the potato off of her hand, he shocked the girl as he stomped on it, showing a clear sign of his offense. Yang Chun didn't take pity on the girl's gesture and ridiculed her in front of everybody. Anyway, that happened in his original life. But this time, he doesn't hope to make the same regretful choice. Letting out a small laugh, he thinks it's time he made up and actually takes the potato from her grasp, even going as far as to thank the girl. Bro was trying to appear so Sigma in front of her, but the moment he took a bite out of the hot potato, he burned his damn mouth. Yang Chun finds it ridiculous how a dream can stun him with a strong sensation. Seeing him struggle with a mere potato, she laughs at him for burning his tongue. While Yang Chun is stunned, a servant of the House Ku of Sanseo comes rushing to find him. Apparently the young boy disappeared off on his own, worrying this guy greatly. He's supposed to be Yang Chun's personal guard, Muyon. Unfortunately, our boy can't even speak properly because of his burnt tongue, to the point his guard assumes that the girl must have tried to harm the young master and nearly pulled his damn blade. It's hilarious how this dude is basically ready to unalive a girl. But Yang Chun requests to handle this in his own way, and requests to have the yakwa. Apparently there's one last one left, so he takes it from Muyon and actually offers it to Siola, much to both of their shock. The boy simply wanted to return the gesture for Siola offering him a steaming potato. Seeing the delicious-looking yakwa before her eyes, her mouth waters, and her eyes glistened. She's always wanted to try it, but suddenly Siola turns away to meet her grandfather, who comes rushing to check on the little girl. Wow, these kids really love being lost. Anyway, he scolds her for going off on her own, but Siola's okay since she got the potatoes in the end. Her grandpa is really kind and worried if she got hurt somewhere. But just seeing the guy in person puts Yang Chun in a daze. When the girl expresses that she gave a potato to the young boy, her grandpa showed a forceful reaction by pulling her back and actually showed great respect by bowing to the young master of the great house. But our boy tells him that it's nothing to worry about as the girl merely offered him a nice snack. Yang Chun shows proper respect and consideration by praising the food and even offers a yakwa in return. Initially, Siola's grandpa is contemplative, but the little girl jumps in joy and wants to grab it immediately. But the poor girl is absolutely devastated when her grandpa drags her the heck away, believing it would be dishonorable to accept such a delicious snack from the young master. But bro is not giving up because he stops the old geezer, even showing consideration to the little girl and personally handing her the snack. Siola's eyes are literally beaming with joy, and her grandpa is speechless. But from this interaction alone, Siola's ambiguously concludes that they've found what they were looking for. The two-part after that interaction while Yang Chun goes into a state of reminiscing, recalling that this old geezer was actually the head of the Murim Alliance, so he's not a joke. He once sat at the top of the martial world as the strongest ever, and was single-handedly the most feared man from the demonic path. The original sovereign sword, Hyogenwi, but he can't put together why this man would be here at all. It's as if Yang Chun's life is flashing before his eyes. He spots the beautiful girl bidding him farewell with her kind eyes. The two parties turn the opposite direction to return home. Now that Yang Chun's life has already ended, he no longer has any regrets and thinks it's a good time for him to conclude this dream of his. But for some reason, the damn dream doesn't even end after he reaches his family estate. It's been far too long. At this point, Yang Chun is starting to wonder if this is some kind of final curse bestowed by the heavenly demon as a last resort. There's a lot he doesn't know about, until he suddenly hears a girl's voice, walking up to him and expressing her surprise to see her brother returning home. Meet the Scarlet Fire Sword Yeonsu Ku, Yang Chun's second older sister and the one person who hates him the most in the world. Basically, she's a bitch. Also, he reflects his surprise that his father's returning home today, while Yeonsu continues to tease him, talking him down for being a troublemaker who's going to pull another lame stunt again. But dude doesn't have time to give to an attention seeker and states that he's here because he should be. So she berates him for never showing up in the past. But instead of getting offended, Youngchun shows maturity by stating he will apologize to his father. Now that is the definition of character development. He actually wants to change his life even with the smallest moments. Anyway, that pisses Yeonsu off a shit ton as she roars his damn name and channels her beaming rage to step up to him. Accusing him for plotting some kind of trick, she openly tells him how much he pisses her off. Bro cuts her little wimping session and points out that their father has arrived. And I should tell you that this entrance is straight up cold. That's how you know Youngchun's papa means serious business. Their father, who basically looks like Musashi over here, is pretty surprised to see his son greeting him so forwardly. He turns his attention to Chief Steward, asking if his sword squads are all prepared. Turns out the first sword squad has already returned from battle while the fourth squad is prepared to leave whenever needed. So he signals to his chief to prepare the fourth squad and find him as soon as possible. Now let's talk about Youngchun's perspective, who finds himself completely paralyzed underneath his father's overwhelming gaze. The housemaster leaves a final regard for the boy, requesting to come find him after his meal. Youngchun is pretty damn shocked to hear that and asks Muyan for a digestive pill because of how intimidating that was. Skipping ahead to the time of his meal, Youngchun recalls the terrible taste of the food. It's the same as ever and he's genuinely terrified to see his father. The anxiety is so bad that he's hoping something will interrupt the meeting. The housemaster speaks over their meal, asking Yeonsu if she's progressed in her martial arts ability. She is very happy to confirm that she's reached the third ring only a few days ago, which is quite impressive compared to the other children her age. So he tells her to work even harder. Now Youngchun actually agrees with his father's words, internalizing how reaching the third ring is pretty damn impressive for a child. Yeonsu has always been the talented type, so a bit of hard work results in wonders. But most impressively, he's shocked to see the little girl smiling, when unusually she has a damn resting bitch face. Which is funny because as soon as he thinks of that, she looks at him with a murderous glare. When his father finally addresses his third child, Youngchun, bro flinches from his spot. He heard the report from Muyan about the boy heading out to the market. The young boy confirms, causing his father to stand up and express his urgent leave. This surprises the boy because he was clearly expecting Musashi over here to actually say something. Well, Youngchun chalks it off to his father's earlier demand of meeting the boy in his office. But even that is postponed as one of the maids comes to inform him that their meeting is scheduled until tomorrow instead. Again, Youngchun is pretty astonished. That night while in his room, he's surprised that he hasn't woken up from this wild dream of his. At this point, he's also questioning if a potential time travel or a regression has taken place. But that realization comes with the added anger, and a chance for him to potentially kill the heavenly demon before things get bad. That thought is enticing at first, but Youngchun still believes he's having a dream, so there would be no point. Then there's the fact that he can't take on the same heavenly demon who was responsible for annihilating 3 sovereigns by herself. It reminds him of the day he surrendered before her just to live another day, and ended up having to endure living a life of becoming a demonic martial artist. Youngchun's regret weighs down on his conscience. His life is one that is the definition of living with immense regret. That's the only emotion that overwhelms and burdens him. But at the same time, he'd always thought to himself that if Youngchun was ever given a second chance, he would definitely do whatever it takes to live differently. Knowing the eventual future of Seola defeating the heavenly demon as well as the demon temple, he thinks his best shot of living a good life is to hide and play the long game of survival. Knowing that this kind of chance won't come again, Youngchun vows not to fail a second time and to prevent his life of regrets from surfacing again. Channeling his energy throughout his body's core, Youngchun is a bit disappointed that he can't do anything beyond a small grasp of internal energy. But his sister? You guys saw how Yeonsu was engulfed in flames, right? That's the difference between an ordinary person and a prodigy like her, who has achieved the third ring already. Still, even having this much internal energy is enough for the boy, believing that the generational cultivation technique of the house should be more than enough. The art of the 9-flame blaze wheel is his best shot of nurturing his body, and once he reaches the 4th ring, he'll also be able to showcase a bright flame of internal energy. And right after reaching the 7th ring like his father, his body will be thriving with this life-changing power. But as things stand right now, bro is at the dead bottom of the 1st ring. That's why he wants to gather as much energy as quickly as possible to reach the 2nd ring. Add that to the fact that he can't even equip his powers of the demonic arts to help aid this journey. This time, he has to rely on himself and his family's martial arts. In a state of meditation, he concentrates all of his energy into his core. But that comes with an added drawback of siphoning his body, completely draining him at his current level. Youngchun can barely do anything with the skills he's got at the moment. Forcing his way isn't an option either, because it will result in something called chi deviation. However, the one good thing to have come out of this mess is that he's gained an understanding of the second ring, and he's edging really close to tapping into it. Yang Chan intends to keep at this level and hammer his way to make new breakthroughs, differently from his past life. At the same time, he has to be cautious and ensure that things don't go off track from the original timeline. Morning quickly comes around and the dude is still out of commission, unable to sleep because of his agonizing bodily pain. It's his fault for not taking his training seriously throughout his childhood. Preparing himself, he plans to visit his father later. But when he opens the door, he's surprised to find the same little girl from before greeting him hello. Let's take a little detour and explore what happened on one fateful day. A crack appeared in the skies as the people began to question if what they saw was a star or something else. Suddenly, a demonic eye popped out from the crumbled space and tore its way through. That was the day the demons invaded their realm. And these weren't just any demons. They were ruthless and wrecked the planet. The dimension where they spawned from is called the Gate of the Demonic Realm. Now, every single clan decided to counter the demons by creating a special force. These special forces or squads were known as the Sword Squads, and every known clan had one. But the Great Ku family actually has 5. The eldest sister of the siblings, Hebe Ku, is actually the head of the 5 commanding squads. And because he's widely known as the brat who constantly stirs trouble in his clan, he trained under her for 6 months in the original timeline. That was actually when he ran into Seola, who adopted a blank, almost frowning expression at the time. They were supposed to meet 6 months later, but because of the way he treated the young girl, somehow she ended up at his doorstep the next day. Bro is done with the day already and goes back inside, but she pulls on his shirt, stopping him and hoping for them to get along well with each other. But before the poor girl could express her words properly, his grandpa swatted her hand off, calling his grandchild a brat for carelessly touching the young master without permission. Yang Cheon doesn't know what to say as Seola apologizes to him. He's still surprised by the purpose of their visit or why her grandpa is here. To his absolute shock, the man tells him that from now on, he will be serving Yang Cheon according to the orders of the clan head. The fact that this guy introduced himself as Manhwa and not Hyogunwi is a bit startling to our boy. As for Seola, she's also tasked to serve him alongside her grandpa, but things are progressing way too fast for him to understand what's going on. Letting out a sigh, he's certain that his father is responsible for doing something like this. He shares his gratitude, but ultimately thinks his life is fucked from the get-go already. Also, he doesn't really like being addressed formally, so he'd rather they call him by his name. But the old geezer doesn't listen to that either. Later that same day, the old man is dusting the place clean while Yang Cheon sees him doing his task with content. He's got no clue what's up and turns his attention to Seola. This little bold girl wants to impress him and carries a bundle of laundry all on her own. Even the other maids show her kindness and request her to share some of the burden, but Seola vows to do it alone. Unfortunately, her bright confidence eats dust when she stumbles across a rock and tumbles down with a heavy crash. That faceplant has got to hurt with the way she fell. Even the laundry basket ended up on her head as she began to weep in disappointment. Seeing her in this state, Yang Chun thinks she's truly one of a kind for being bad at everything she does. His real talent lies in martial arts, so he doesn't get why she has such little control over her body. The current state of events is making his head hurt, while the sad Seola walks up to him, still cutely wearing the basket on her head, promising to follow him wherever he goes. Or at least, that was the order she received from her grandpa. This actually means that the boy's personal and real servant is Seola instead of the old geezer, but it's almost like the other maids pulled a scheme and trapped her with such a duty. Being the son of an incredible family, the boy doesn't know if it's nice to choose a servant of his own volition. Apart from her being Seola herself, there's also the fact that her grandpa, the Sovereign Sword, is going to be monitoring him in close proximity. She tries to tidy up his robe, but even that is a depressing mess of wrinkles. Bro crushes her confidence by doing it on her own, and begins to wonder if the clan head even knows about the Sovereign Sword's identity. Knowing that he has to go and meet his dad, Yang Cheon thinks he'll come to find his answers soon enough. While he's leaving, Seola catches up to him, but he shuts her down, stating that she should finish up her work here. The remark makes her genuinely cry, and it's noticed by her grandpa too. Anyway, Yang Cheon leaves, and shows a bit of his softness for Seola when he promises to return with Yakwas if she does her duties well. That little comment alone makes her flutter with joy. The perspective shifts to Yang Cheon, who stands before his father's office, getting anxious just standing outside. He's scared of what will happen and wonders if he should ask about Hyogun and Seola instead. Bro's approach ends up in the gutter when the clan head pops from behind and scares the living crap out of him. He's told to go inside, and regrets immensely that he loudly swore in front of his own father. Yang Cheon is seriously questioning how he didn't die of a heart attack at that moment. They begin the conversation by discussing his new servants. The boy is grateful to receive them, but he doesn't know the reason why. His father refuses to elaborate on the reason and believes his son will come to know eventually. This isn't good, because Yang Chon now understands that his father probably knows about the sovereign sword, but the purpose is kept ambiguous. Instead, the clan head recommends that the boy prepare for the 9-Dragon Council that's due tomorrow. Though Yang Chon complies, he has trouble remembering what the purpose of the council was. Suddenly, the little dude reaches an enlightenment, this time horrified to remember the council's name. Yang Chon thinks even death would be more acceptable at this point, while Muyan, his personal guard, questions if he truly doesn't want to participate in the council. Let's explore the concept of this unique council. It's supposed to honor the original sword squads who worked tirelessly hard to guard the demonic realm, risking their lives for the people of Sanseo. It's held twice a year to commemorate their efforts, and it's also a recruitment event to help bring in new members into the sword squads. And as he's the member of the main family itself, he has to attend the council. But bro just doesn't want to go, ordering Muyan to behead him immediately. But even the personal guard thinks his father will probably kill Yang Chon a second time if he refuses to go. Then there's the fact that the second elder is hosting the council this time, and he also promised to beat the shit out of Yang Chon if he refuses to participate in this council. The situation got so much worse than he expected. The second elder is a damn annoying geezer who has always treated him harshly ever since he was a child. Then again, the kid is a troublemaker, so it makes sense. Anyway, he entrusted the boy and had high expectations for him to act befitting of the great family household. In some ways, Yang Chon is grateful to the old man, but at the same time, he is afraid of him because of his unending training sessions and handing him a mountain of chores. But it's actually endearing because the second elder always looked after the boy even when the clan head ignored him. It's a miracle that he turned out the way he did in his original life, even after the training he endured from the second elder. Anyway, it's time for them to head out. They're supposed to leave when the carriage is ready, so the boy inquires Manhwa about the update. The maid explains that they're looking after Seola, which worries the young master who wonders if she ended up making more trouble. But apparently they were actually busy prepping her in a tidy and presentable outfit. Looking at her in this elegant attire, it even causes Yang Chon to find himself flustered against the girl's pure smile. She walks up to him like a beaming child and expresses how the other maids were praising her beauty. But that compliment is actually true because even Yang Chon finds himself weak against her cuteness. The girl musters up the courage to directly ask him if she looks beautiful. And yup, that alone is enough to make the little master embarrassed beyond hell. He's so flustered that he avoids her and completely switches topics. In the next scene, we get to see the carriage moving at tremendous speeds, giving Seola a joyful ride. It's actually her first time experiencing a carriage ride like this, so she's quite excited. As for Muyan, he tells the young master that the council is being held in the commercial district of Cheonil, known for being the most famous district in their territory. Since it's a long journey of 4 hours, it's going to take a while, so Yang Cheon thinks it might be a wise idea to take a nap. But the annoying and beaming child behind him is talking so loud that he just can't. Yang Chon shoves a yakwa snack in her mouth and tells her to shut up for a while. This actually shuts her up to the point he can drift off into sleep. But his sleep doesn't matter at all, because he wakes up a second later and realizes that 4 hours have already passed and that they've arrived. Yang Cheon exits the carriage and finds the crowded district charming with beautiful lights to commemorate the important festival. He stretches for a bit and runs into Isil Cheon, the officer of the district who has been eager to meet the young master. Yang Chon introduces himself properly and expresses his honor to meet such an important person. He learns that it's thanks to the boy's sister and the second leader that they were able to pass the first day with ease. But just the mention of Yeonsu is enough to remind him of her shitty attitude. He's hoping to God that they don't run into each other. Well, God apparently doesn't like him because bro literally finds her in the very next scene. Like always, she gives him the look of disgust, offended that he even bothered to greet her. Yeonsu mouths off about how annoying her little brother will be during the festival, recommending that he behave himself. But just like last time, instead of getting offended, he casually responds that he'll just stay in his room. This comes across as a bitch slap to his attention-seeking brat of a sister. Suddenly, her attention turns to the girl hiding behind her brother. Yeonsu disgustingly accuses her brother of engaging in the act of lovemaking at a place like this. She goes away sharing her lament for the pervert who doesn't know how to control himself. When the door slams shut, Yang Chon questions what in the actual fudge is wrong with his psychotic sister. He even apologizes to Officer Cheon for witnessing such a scene. But instead of going to his room, the young master prefers to make an urgent stop elsewhere first. Tagging Seola along, they decide to visit the main arena, which is enormous and decorative in its size. The 5 sword squads were applauded on the first day, and tomorrow will come the selection of new members. It's a good thing that the main family members don't have to compete. Yang Chon thinks he's going to live a chill life until the second elder pops out of nowhere. It's the whole, he's right behind me, isn't he? meme because bro's day is about to be ruined. Striking him like thunder from the skies, the second elder is proud of the boy for actually showing up to the festival. Seeing his palm reaching out for his face, Young-chun is terrified that he might get his ass beat, but to his surprise, the older man simply pats him and asks what influenced the boy's decision to actually show up. After all, Young-chun made his life's goal to escape the second elder every time. When the little boy tells him that he received word of the second elder getting pissed, he pretends like he never even said something so horrific. The old man in particular is known for being obsessed with the boy, because he's really the only son of the household. Seola, on the other hand, is so excited to meet him, expressing her joy. But goddamn, he looks at her like a demon of death, turning her expression to fear and sadness. She's so adorable and winces away, hiding behind Yang-chun, who tells the geezer to lighten up instead of glaring at people. The old man does in fact lighten up and asks if Seola's his lover. But Yang-chun clarifies that her attire should confirm to anyone that she's just a servant. She goes away into hiding while the second elder recommends that the child get some sleep for the night. Before leaving, he casually tells Yang-chun that he's going to take his life if he tries to run away from the festival. Yeah, either he really loves him or really hates him, I can't tell. Anyway, Seola keeps calling him the Bear Man, and I'm inspired by her, so that will be his new name from now on. Interestingly, Bear Man concludes that there's something different about the kid this time. Fast forwarding to the second day of the festival, Yang-chun is already here early in the morning, but at the back of a long-ass queue. Because the requirements are flexible enough for anyone to participate, there's way too many people lining up to join the sword squads. It's an honorable thing to become a part of the sword squad after all. Suddenly, Seola's body shivers with fear because she thinks the bear grandpa will hunt her down. She even cutely suggests that they ask the bear to hibernate for a while, which is hilarious. Anyway, our boy doesn't know what's keeping her afraid. Unfortunately, he can't order her around as much because she's the grandchild of the sovereign sword himself. He promises Seola that Muyan will take care of any threats if she's afraid. The personal guard has no idea what the term bear grandpa even means until our boy expresses that it's the second elder they're referring to. Unfortunately, the duty is too much for a personal guard like Muyan, so they conclude that maybe it's best to sacrifice Seola. The funny thing is that she actually takes this order to heart and concludes that today is her funeral day, and that she will sacrifice her life for everyone's happiness. The heartwarming portrayal of her past self is enjoyable. Yang-chun reminds her repeatedly that he was just joking, but turns out Seola just wants him to buy her a bunch of dumplings to die happily, so he lets her do whatever she wants. While she's away, Muyan shares how the young master is offering preferential treatment to Seola, despite her being a casual servant. Of course, it's because he still thinks of her as the Seola from his original life. Though he acts like he doesn't care about her, Muyan is smart and points out how the young master still gave her part of his own money for the dumplings. Unable to argue against him, the young master simply turns away. Muyan is actually pretty happy to discover that the boy is different from the way the rumors portrayed him, while Yang-chun advises him not to have a change of heart over a bunch of damn dumplings of all things. Also, he catches Muyan in his point that he judged the young master for a few rumors. It's only been 2 weeks since he's been assigned as his personal guard. The only reason he said something like this is because Yang-chun freshly received him as his guard right as he regressed into his past life. Their conversation is disrupted by a loud woman calling out to a lady, recommending that she doesn't wander all on her own. The girl expresses that she's fine on her own as there are plenty of great people from the House of Ku around her. The voice of these girls sounds similar to Yang Cheon, putting him in a state of reflection. Yobi, the mysterious girl's servant, argues that it's troublesome if she runs into the young master of the Ku family. Then again, there were plenty of boys in their family, so she could be referring to anyone according to Yang Chun. Even the girl thinks it's impossible to meet him in a crowd like this. But even Yang Chun has a self-aware fourth wall-breaking moment, believing that this is some kind of foreshadowing. The girl turns back, only to become startled to find the astonished young master before her eyes. Muyan whispers in his ear, explaining that the situation is probably awkward based on their reaction, so he's wondering if he knows these people. But of course, seeing her face, Yang Chun simply couldn't forget the girl who had obsidian eyes with a ring on her finger with an ambiguous pattern. Though no one knows about the symbol on the ring, he knows that it belongs to the Habuk's House of Peng region. This very same woman is revealed to be his ex-fiancée. Let's talk about how the engagement happened between these two belonging to the great houses. They were mainly of a similar age, and the House of Peng suspected that the young boy would one day become the clan head. That's why they entrusted their daughter in an engagement with him. As obvious as it could get, this guy ended up causing a shit ton of problems, and because of his stagnating reputation as the troublemaker, the House of Peng became afraid, and the engagement eventually broke up because of his final words to her. Immediately, she questions why he's here, but Yang Chun cuts her off and asks the same. She tells him that it's because of some urgent business. and that she isn't required to explain her intentions in the Sanseo region because of his family. He treats her coldly, which pisses her off as she reminds him of their age difference of 1 year. So he decides to adopt immediate manners and refers to her properly. He turns his attention to Seola and expresses that they should leave with the dumplings. Meanwhile, this adorable little monster acquired a crap ton of dumplings and is happy to leave. With his parting words, he tells his ex-fiancée to enjoy her time here, which comes across as a shock to her. She regrets having run into him of all people, and takes a note of the servant next to him. She's a bit annoyed that he's already found himself a pretty servant, and internalized that he's still the same damn pervert. Going back to his fateful words from the day their engagement broke off, Yang Chun called her nothing more than a spoiled daughter of a mistress, basically insulting her mother and causing her to get so enraged that she was about to beat the hell out of him. But Yang Chun apparently had balls of steel as he doubled down instead of retracting his statement. So bro ended up eating a Mike Tyson hook from a girl, which is well deserved. She was done with his attitude even after the strategic engagement because of her house. Yobi was there to stop the girl, but she swatted her hand away, stomping her foot next to his face, and was more than ready to kill Yang Chun's ass. Yeah, that was one hell of a day from her memory. Even now, she's trying to convince herself that he's the same, but this kid is actually helping his servant out with the dumplings. It's as if something is different about him now, though she chalks it off as just an unusual day for him, believing that a clown like him could never become mature. Still, a thought lingers in her mind that maybe he did change. Suddenly, they hear another loud voice roaring in the distance. Apparently, some guy is pissed off, talking about how the recruiters are going to be responsible for his arrest. It's a vague remark that leaves everyone dead silent. While those people are arguing, the young master recommends they help out with the situation because he senses that some people are stirring trouble. Muyan emphasizes that they shouldn't really act unless reason compels them to. In the end, they decide to let the guy be handled by the recruiters who will take care of the troublesome fellow. That actually does happen. But the difference is, this guy literally slams the recruiter into the ground, believing that it should be enough to prove his worth to join the competition. Of course, because of his harsh way of handling things, he is forbidden from entering. Muyan suggests they step in, while Seola is entertained by the cool thing that just happened. The personal guard is very surprised at the young master's dismissal of the situation. Yang Chun argues that he just doesn't want to get involved with troublesome affairs. The situation gets even more tense as the recruiters stand justified in their unchanging decision. Since the man before them isn't revealing his identity, they can't allow him to enter, even after he's proven his skills. Getting seriously annoyed, he finally reveals his identity as the heir of House Peng, meaning this dude is actually Yang Chun's ex-brother-in-law. This announcement grabs the attention of both of them, shocked to see him entering the competition. Let's go back in time and see what led up to this. One day, the girl found her brother awoke early in the morning. She didn't know why he was here. Meanwhile, he was having the time of his life eating food and getting warm after starting a fire. His sister didn't give a damn about what he was doing and only cared about the nameplate he's holding in his hand. He joked around that he was going to use it as a replacement for firewood and immediately got smacked with a stone. His sister was done with his shenanigans. She gives us a little fun fact about her brother. He actually graduated as the youngest heir of the house in the history of House Peng. The nameplate is special because he received it directly from his lord. While she keeps on trying to maintain the serious topic, her bro is still joking around about the firewood and receives a beating from his sister. She emphasizes the duties of the heir of the house, and her words sadden his expression. It's almost like he doesn't want to shoulder such a burden. His sister takes note of this and remarks how he's a prodigy who has earned the best achievements in his life, and yet, he still seems unhappy. Letting out a nervous laugh, he corrects her, stating his intentions of leaving the house for a while. Instead of pushing him around, she recommends that he enjoy himself on a walk then. The suggestion lights up an idea inside his little head, but in a way that his sister never could have anticipated. 4 damn months passed since that moment, and all she got from him was a note saying he'll be gone for a bit. She was pissed and complained to Yobi, who actually reported that the Vagrant clan might have a clue on his location. She was dying to hear where her brother had gone, but the region of Sanseo never made sense to her. Well, until now, that is. She's just run into that same troublemaker who was rattling his mouth off to join the 9-dragon competition no matter what. Bro was beefing with the recruiters and explained that he didn't have time to spare. The commotion drew the attention of our boy and the guard. Both of them heard him yapping about the Black Knight Blade, which is a technique of House Peng. Our boy figured the situation would only get worse from here on out, so he sought to scatter away. But of course, Grandpa Bear had to rain down on his moment at the worst possible timing and grabbed the boy's face. He personally found the troublemaker impressive because of his connection to the Peng family and allowed the boy to join. It is only then Wu Jin Peng makes his official introduction, expressing his great honor to meet the second elder of the House of Ku. Grandpa over here laughs his face off and because Wu Jin kissed his ass just now, he's even more prepared to let the boy join the competition now. Even though the recruiters are strictly against the decision because of the boy's identity, the second elder believes that Wu Jin must be telling the truth because the boy takes after his father's looks. Apart from that, the ring he's wearing is yet another proof. I have to point out that Yang Chun is pretty surprised because he didn't know it was Wu Jin either. Anyway, Grandpa Bear expresses that the purpose of the competition is to allow people to join the great squads, so he's curious why the heir of House Peng is here of all places. Wu Jin confidently reveals that he doesn't really enjoy his time back at his house, a reason that makes the second elder break into laughter, while at the same time causing Yang Chun to think they're both retarded. Wu Jin casually shares that he ran from his house because he loves rebelling against the rules. Yet another reason for the geezer over here to crack into laughter. Okay, the really intriguing part is that Wu Jin is a whopping 23 years of age, because I could have sworn he was a teenager if they didn't point that out. The second elder is impressed by the product of House Ping, and gives a disgusting glance to Yang Chun for being pathetically weak in comparison. Both Muyon and Seola probe Yang Chun for clarification, and he can't do anything but tell them to shut up while silently suffering. Well, on second thought, Yang Chun reflects that he isn't offended or jealous by the remark, because the heir of House Ping truly can be considered a dragon. After all, this same boy would be known as the Heavenly Blade in the future. Drawing a connection from him, Yang Chun suddenly remembers that he did meet Wu Jin's sister earlier. Speaking of her, Ah Peng comes rushing to find her brother. You might think this is going to be a sentimental moment, but no. She straight up chucks a damn fist in his face and launches the dude into the ground. Ah is seriously pissed that he ran the hell away right after becoming the heir to their house. With his face caved in, Wu Jin tries his best for a timeout, but his sister is in her John Wick mode and barely spares him a second before beating the ever-living crap out of him. While beating him up, she talks about how disgraceful he is for ditching his own house just to join a competition for the House of Ku. Bro is legit getting pummeled and begs to be saved like a damsel in distress. Ahee's beaten him so badly that his blood is all over her, but the elder's done watching and demands that she stop immediately. Seeing him, she gets startled and apologizes before clarifying the situation and apologizing for the troubles caused. Ahee promises to make it up to the House of Ku with additional reimbursements in the future and commands that they'll be leaving now. But her stubborn brother is firm on his decision that he'll stay, causing her to question if he's looking for yet another beatdown. But this time, Wu Jin is serious as hell, to the point that it creeps out even Ahee. She doesn't know why he's acting like this, or what's gotten into him, but the boy is clear in his decision, believing that the House of Peng isn't even remotely fun. He thinks anything is better than the life he used to live. Gently advising him, Ahee reminds the boy that he's supposed to be the heir now she has got to move on with this kind of thing. But Wu Jin believes that it's his right to have as much fun as he can before eventually accepting his duties as the head of the house. Escaping the duty will require him losing his limbs or simply dying, and since he's not a fan of either, he's found a third way out. Wu Jin openly declares that he despised the concept of being the head of the family, further adding that the people of House Peng can't even be called human because of their methods. Knowing that he's the only one who has to play the part of the heir, he's accepted the title for his sister's sake too. As for our boy, Yang Chun is questioning Bear Grandpa's decision to let Wu Jin participate, especially since this matter is beyond the scale of the competition and concerns the other houses. Of course, even the second elder believes that there can't be an easy way out for this one. So he calls out to Wu Jin with a sweeping recommendation of fighting him in a one-on-one battle. If Wu Jin manages to beat Grandpa Bear over here, he can join. But of course, this is just an impossible task. Even Ahee thinks he's terrible with his jokes. But the old man is firm on his words and believes 10 hits should be more than enough to decide the winner. As for Wu Jin, he's got those young and determined eyes. The second elder has no thoughts of going back on his words. The second elder is in the middle of explaining the win condition for Wu Jin, stating that even a single contact with his body will conclude the young man as the victor, when suddenly the young heir of House Peng dashes right behind him with immense speed. Grandpa Bear over here is standing nonchalant, while Wu Jin is about to chidori his ass from above. But the tables are instantly turned when Wu Jin literally faces a goddamn monstrous reaction from the old geezer as he unleashes his punch. Yup, he's definitely dead. In the next scene, we fast forward to the competition arena, where the battle between Yang Chun and his sister Yeon Su is fixed. Of course, his two-faced sister appears blooming and cute in front of others. Meanwhile, our boy is out here questioning why the hell he's here at all, not to mention his fight against his sister. Anyway, let's rewind a little bit and see what happened to Wu Jin. Just like I said, the kid got demolished by Gramps and was launched into the ground like a tornado with a heavy crash. The fight was decided in the first damn hit, and this geezer suddenly turned from a murder machine to a fun-loving grandpa again. Yang Chun, on the other hand, is questioning why the hell this madman went so far when he could have easily evaded the strike. Bear Grandpa emphasizes that he held back massively even with the punch that knocked the wind out of Wu Jin. Yang Chun is seriously afraid of House Peng's wrath if they come to learn of this information. But the boomer does not care at all. Our boy even tries to console Ahi, but she thinks her brother deserved that punch. The girl analyzes that this was perhaps the only way to teach the young heir a lesson in humility. Though that sounds logical, the second elder quickly denies such claims, clarifying that he only offered a spar because he wanted to have some fun. Hearing that kind of reckless bullshit coming from his mouth, Yang Chun even proposes to his servant that it's a good idea for them to ditch the geezer. Contrasting his reaction, Seola is out here animated like hell, like she just saw some kind of movie scene take place before her eyes. Her current state makes our boy wondering how the hell this same girl ended up becoming the most terrifying warrior in existence. The second elder has quickly become a fan of Seola for praising him. He even shares a little snack with the dessert-loving girl, who suddenly switches her attitude and has grown fond of Bear Grandpa. Seeing as though Yang Chun must be feeling left out, the second elder thinks it's best to give him a gift as well, revealing that he's going to make our boy spar against someone at the end of the competition. And well, what do you know? That's how we got into this shitty spot in the first place. Yang Chun has to face his sister, and she's rather shocked that he's choosing not to use his sword. It makes the boy surprised too, making him wonder if he used a weapon at this age. The good thing about the art of the 9-flame blaze wheel technique is that it can help reinforce various different weapons. However, typically it is used on swords for maximum effectiveness. The issue here is, Yang Chun has no idea how to use a sword as he transitioned to a fighting style with his bare hands later in life. Bro really just said these hands are rated E for everyone. Yeonsu confesses that she couldn't give two shits whether or not he used a weapon in this case, and her arrogant personality helps his cover. The girl is most grateful about one thing and one thing alone. She's landed a golden opportunity after all, allowing herself the chance to beat him black and blue without getting in trouble for it. It's even better that his humiliation will be witnessed in front of the rest of the world. This bitch is seriously crazy, but Yang Chun is genuinely nervous for the fight too. Going back to his conversation with the second elder, he was offended by the mere suggestion of him partaking in a fight against his sister. Bear Grandpa found himself dropping dead in despair, believing the competition would be way too boring otherwise. Yang Chun could sense that this old imbecile only wanted entertainment out of him. The dude even had a nice strategy to forfeit the match as soon as it started. But the second elder literally read his mind and gestured the boy towards Wu Jin's unconscious body, which is a short way of saying, "I'll beat your ass up just like that if you surrender." Yang Chun really couldn't digest the fact that he was going to get defeated in front of a massive crowd. But the old man actually shared a different opinion, questioning if the boy had already made up his mind to lose. His words circle Yang Chun's mind. The new life he has been promised is far too precious for him to just let it go to waste like that. It's the reason he doesn't want to fight his sister to prevent complications. While he's in the middle of his contemplation, Yeonsu calls out to him, roaring out her resentment for her brother for being chosen as the heir of the house simply because he was born a male. The fight begins, and this girl goes ballistic on him, unleashing a rapid slash that he manages to evade. Yeonsu goes for a second slash that our boy ducks without any problems. Her combo hasn't quite finished as she goes for a horizontal slash next, causing him to draw back and duck again. A haunting realization strikes Yeonsu. Her brother was dodging her slashes even though he was only on the second ring. Yang Chun on the other hand reflects that he's barely being able to dodge each hit, but it's starting to take a toll on his body, directly proving that he needs more training. But he hasn't yet decided how he should treat this battle. One way could be for him to take a direct hit and pretend to be knocked out. At the same time, with the way she's attacking him, bro is not going to be pretending at all. He thinks he's genuinely going to be put out of commission. Before he can even chart a battle plan, his sister goes on the offensive again, grabbing his uniform to make sure he stays in place as she launches another sword slash. But he dodges that too and quickly undoes his top, causing Yeonsu to slice it down. The boy taunts his sister for having so much bloodlust against him that her attacks are predictable. He recommends they stop the battle, questioning how much she despised him. Even though they weren't even using real swords, she tore his shirt in half with such power. Yeonsu replies that she had to accept the horrid reality that she would never become the heir simply because of the system, even though she trained and gave her life to the cause. And yet, the boy who does nothing and lives like a heap of garbage is easily handed the position because he's a son. That's why she hates him so much and believes that their positions are unfair. Yeonsu takes it a step further by imbuing her weapon with internal energy, raising the stakes of the fight. With her current level, Yang Chun is astonished to discover that his sister has already evolved past the third ring. The onslaught of attacks continues as she does her absolute best to nail him down with at least one attack. She even calls him a coward and a useless clown who does nothing but dodge because that's all he can ever do. That he's talentless, and someone who isn't even determined. She thinks that if her brother is going to continue this lifestyle, then it may as well be fate to get rid of him. Interestingly, the boy quietly listens to her complaints, and in the next attack, we can even see a look of sadness on the girl's face. Youngcheon stands fearless and does nothing, hearing Yeonsu's cruel words for his mother too. The conclusion is intriguing, as he actually manages to stop the attack by catching her wrist, returning a demonic glare as Yangcheon questions what rubbish came out of his sister's mouth. Following a monologue of the girl, Jeonsu openly admits that she holds her big sister in high regards. She was given the title of the Searing Blade at the mere age of 15 and was exceptional by the age of 20. Because of her raw talent and effort alone, she eventually became the leader of the 5 swords of the House of Ku. A woman who was acknowledged by everyone with no equal, but even with everything at her disposal, she couldn't be granted the title of the head of the house. That was a privilege reserved for the little boy Yang Chon-ku, someone born from a mistress and the only known successor. Initially, Jeonsu really fancied her brother, and though they shared different mothers, Yangcheon's mom showed kindness to both. In a way, Jeonsu also loved her back, which is why she didn't feel threatened or disgusted by the boy at the time. That's when it happened. One day, the woman was nowhere to be found. All gone, abandoning the 2 children. The head of the clan, their father, strictly ordered everyone not to look for her. That's why it became a hopeless endeavor to even try. This was actually around the same period of time where the boy became crueler to everyone. He didn't form connections with anyone in the clan until the rumors of his mysterious acts with women began circling around. However, despite what led to this change in events, one fact remained supreme. Yangcheon would still be given the position of the head of the house. That's not his fault, it's the system of men inheriting titles. And it's not like Jeonsu could ever hope for that to change. She was nothing compared to the ever-blazing talent of her older sister, which sprouted a deep resentment inside the girl's heart. She began detesting him for being someone who couldn't even make use of his abilities. Let's go back to the present scene, where upon the mention of his mother, Yangcheon gives his sister a fearsome glare, instilling so much fear inside her that she retreats just to be safe. But that won't matter, because this man is now done playing around as he blitzes behind her, launching a punch right in her face. Witnessing the battle, Ah-hee is pretty impressed by Yangcheon's sister's talents despite sharing a similar age group. At the same time, she can notice the 2 siblings conversing with each other in the middle of their battle. Unfortunately, no one can hear them clearly, strictly because the second elder made it his personal business to coat the surrounding arena with his own internal energy. Or at least that's what Woo-jin says. Also, bro's got a swollen face coming out of that spar. I would not be showing my face publicly after that. Even Ah-hee makes fun of the clown for recklessly messing around. She doesn't want to leave for House Peng because they'll question what happened. Anyway, both of them discuss the greatness of Yeonsu, a girl who has already reached the 3rd ring and a blade talent that is quite capable. But here's the intriguing part. Woo-jin isn't even interested in the girl, he's actually impressed by her opponent. This surprises Ah-hee, while Yobi confirms the relationship between the 2 siblings. Based on the fight, Woo-jin is impressed that there's more than one talent among the House of Ku. Seeing his face experiencing such happiness, Ah-hee feels devastated that her brother won't ever feel the same after becoming the head of House Peng. Let's go back to the fight. Yeonsu realizes that she has no choice but to evade her brother's strike. She manages to dodge and returns with an intimidating final swing, believing that the fight is over as she's exploited his opening. But Yangcheon coldly talks her down. This is how you know you're about to get cooked. It's when your opponent is trash-talking you against your final attack. Yangcheon states that he understands his sister's position, so he doesn't really have a right to judge whether or not she hates him. Though he feels pissed off by her last comment, he shows maturity by disregarding it completely. However, Yangcheon hopes that she forgets what he's about to do next. Drawing his hand back and expending a burst of energy, he punches the crap out of Yeonsu with a solid hit, knocking her down and out completely. The fight is over, and to everyone's shock, the winner is the incompetent Yangcheon. Shortly after the fight ended, we can see the young boy regretting his decision about the way he handled that situation. He didn't want to win, and it's going to look bad that a 2nd ring was able to beat a 3rd ring fighter with a complete knockout. Yangcheon still feels haunted by his sister's words, and while he's sulking in despair, Muyan and his servant come through to check on his condition. Unfortunately, Muyan has come with some bad news for the boy. Everyone's talking about his grand victory when they clearly expected him to get dog-walked in that fight. That's why the 2nd elder purposefully had to step in to control the reaction of the crowd. The speech is still ongoing, which gives Yangcheon the opportunity to escape the damn place before Bear Grandpa gets to him. Seola worriedly points out that his hand is bleeding, but what it really means is that he failed to control his internal GI at the last moment. The adorable Seola tries to comfort him by bandaging it up, causing the boy to get flustered. But unfortunately, the poor girl doesn't even know how to wrap it properly. She weeps while gently holding his hand, apologizing for how useless she is. The scene melted my heart, and it puts Yang Chon in a pause, until Wu Jin cock-blocks their moment with a sudden entrance. Anyway, Yang Chon greets him properly still, even though Ah-hee is out here embarrassed like crap and insists on going home. But this dude is so chill. I love him because he's treating Yang Chon like a homeboy even though Ah-hee's engagement broke off with him. He even recommends the two of them together again. Our boy is a bit surprised and wonders why he's here at all. Wu Jin expresses that he just wants to connect and network with talented people. He also holds his older sister Hebe-ku in high regard, but was unaware of a hidden talent like Yang Chon. The boy is actually surprised that Wu Jin knows about his sister. The heir of House Peng reveals that they actually share a pretty close relationship, but he doesn't know how she thinks of him, basically contradicting himself. Yang Chon simply laughs it off, ignoring the ridiculousness. He sees Wu Jin going away with Yobi, but strangely his ex-fiancée is still here. She wants to break her silence, apologizing for hurting him with the chair. She's about to conclude something which I suspect would have been about a reconciliation, but Yang Chun cuts her off and shocks her by his own apology. He knows that he overstepped a boundary by saying stupid words about her mother, and it's only fair how she reacted. They're both in the clear, with Ah-hee accepting the situation and leaving him with a reminder to check what her brother left him with. Yang Chon inspects his uniform and discovers a little slab, not knowing what it means. The night ends with the two of them sharing a farewell. With this, Yang Chon is starting to mend the mistakes of his past life, but still there's so much more for him to correct. On their way back, Iola is knocked out like a log. Our boy is still gloomy about his duel against his sister. In his previous life, he never got the opportunity to do that. And of all the times he can think of, Yang Chon thinks he shouldn't have been able to win that fight. From his understanding, the future began manipulating the moment Siola began working under him. A small act of kindness could have possibly shifted the tide of the story he was supposed to follow. Still, he doesn't get why this is happening, and that he should be careful about updating his plans. Suddenly, the boy senses something sharp, and immediately requests Muyan to check the demonic talisman. The personal guard is happy to inform his master that there's nothing to worry about, as the talisman is working just fine. But as Muyan is delivering that news, the talisman lights up, causing him to order an immediate stop. The fact that the talisman reacted strongly means that a demonic gate near them has just opened up. Muyan tells all his men to prioritize the safety of the young master. However, to his shock, the same young master is casually standing outside and stretching for the fight to come. Muyan scolds him, constantly reminding the boy of how dangerous this could get for him. Yang Chan tells him to concentrate on what's ahead of them. As if a crack in reality appeared itself, a green gate spirals open, releasing houndish beasts. The good thing about a green gate is that it's supposed to be the weakest level of the demons. Preparing his technique, Yang Chon goes on the offensive and annihilates the monsters without any sense of trouble. Now there is one thing to be noted about all demonic creatures. They possess a special stone inside their bodies, signifying their hearts. Think of these stones as a power core, and a weakness that can be exploited by simply pulling it out. One other demonic beast attempts to bite him from behind, but our boy is quick with his reflexes, and efficiently focuses on extracting the demonic stones. However, just having taken down two of them has inflicted a crazy amount of exhaustion on his internal energy, affecting his usage of the 9-flame blaze wheel technique. Still, it's not like he can stop just because he's tired, especially when 3 more of these ugly dogs were heading their way. But to his surprise, Muyan comes sweeping in to protect his young master, reacting with such unfathomable speed and unleashing a spree of slashes across the creatures' bodies. Virgil from Devil May Cry must have taught him his judgment cut end ability from the looks of it. Even Yang Chon is straight up speechless seeing his cool-ass servant knock it out of the park. Muyan turns to inquire about his condition, and he's glad that nothing serious happened. The fight's already finished, considering not a lot of the beasts came out from the other side. In a way, they got really lucky. But Muyan is seriously worried about our boy's decision to jump in so recklessly. It could have ended in a disaster. Yang Chon states that it's all fine in the end. Well, it's not exactly fine at all, as his hand begins to burn in a purple flame, giving him unimaginable amounts of pain. Even Muyan's got no idea what's happening to his young master. Yang Chan curses in frustration and fear, questioning why the hell the Heavenly Demon's martial art is activating all of a sudden. This technique of the Heavenly Demon is officially known as the Heavenly Absorption ability. Let's take a look at a cool flashback from the badass demon martial artist Yang Qian, who had single-handedly severed down an entire battalion of fighters. The broken warrior before him questioned why he was so merciless, and why he slaughtered them when he had no reason to. About to finish the guy off, Yang Qian questioned if those would be the man's last words. The man looked at the deceased elder's cut-off head and screamed in despair. A large shadow hovered over the skies, and from a scarlet gate emerged a gigantic dark dragon. The Heavenly Demon decided to descend from her dragon and walked up to the kneeling Yang Chun, stating that he could have put more effort into trying to amuse her. But having gained a slight sense of satisfaction, she decided to imbue him with a skill. And well, that leads us to the present, where much to the boy's shock, the same absorption technique is purified thanks to the effects of the 9-flame blaze wheel. The boy describes this unique process as a kind of a merging effect, something that never even happened in his past life. Anyway, Seola and Muyan are crazily worried for him as he finally gets back up, stating that he's fine. He thinks it's possible he might have sustained an unknown injury during the duel he had with his sister. Muyan wants to find an immediate doctor, but our boy insists that he's okay, especially considering the fact that he wants to hide his ability to consume demonic energy. Seola, on the other hand, is whining like a puppy, squishing his face and asking for confirmation as she finds his condition to be sad. Luckily, the other servant stops her cute meddling and pulls her away for Yangchun's sake. Once again, Muyan requests that they visit the doctor, but the young master believes it would be better if they just returned home and if he slept to cool off the exhaustion. While his men are gathering around and preparing again for the journey, the boy enters a contemplative state, noticing how he doesn't feel an ounce of demonic energy within him. This means that his family's generational technique must have done something. Interestingly, he also takes note that the color of the stone faded, which confirms the absorption of the demonic energy. Deciding not to dwell on the matter for too long, he crushes the stone within his grasp, believing that he should urgently work on his plans. The following morning, Seola's eye for sweet snacks is acting up again. But our boy actually ignores her pleading request and betrays her from her expectations. Yangchun reminds the girl that she was the one who keeps tagging along for no reason at all. Anyway, Muyan is pretty curious why they've come out here of all places, especially since the boy is still in the process of recovering from what happened, so it doesn't make sense why he's out in the marketplace when he should be resting. The considerate Muyan even offers to help him if he's looking for something. Though the young master appreciates his consideration, Yangchun concludes that he doesn't want any help right now. He notices a specific street and scans the alley, confusing Muyan a bit more. First, Yangchun requests the girl to retreat back home, and then tasks Muyan to follow him. He wants Seola to be the messenger to his house, stating that he'll be back by dinner. The young girl is worried that her grandpa will scold her, so Yangchun plays with her greed and offers to buy her 10 yakwa snacks for completing this task. Suddenly, the girl is beaming with confidence and adds a condition of dumplings on top. Yangchun is more than happy with those terms, and the two of them shake on it like best friends. Anyway, back to the alley. Muyan is curious, but our boy doesn't feed him any answers yet. The personal guard is scanning his surroundings, believing that this place seems a bit dangerous to wander alone. But that's something even Yangchun knows about. It seems that he's found what he was looking for at last. At first he was worried he wouldn't be able to find it. Muyan is curious why the building is of interest to the young master, and even states that his senses are telling him that something is wrong with the building. Yangchun commends him for having sharp instincts and opens the door, receiving annoyance from a bunch of crooks who think that the young boy must have lost his way. They also notice that the boy's guard is armed with a weapon, which means this is a good sign for them to kill these two. These thugs put Muyan on edge as he prepares his weapon. One of them questions why the boy came here of all places. Yangchun confidently reveals that he's simply a customer, but his arrogant tone makes the thug pissed off. He actually threatens Yangchun to the point that Muyan is ready to strike all of the bastards down. But the young master believes it's not the right time, and reveals that all of them knew who he was the very moment he stepped a foot inside the alley. Yangchun intriguingly asks if they're afraid of the House of Ku's wrath, but he's not here for that. Instead of trying to slice each other down, the boy offers a negotiation with the branch manager. The thug is actually shocked by the boy's audacity, and reveals that Yangchun doesn't even have the most basic of manners. But the cunning young master fires back, reminding the thugs that it's not like they're the sweetest people either. This makes the thug snicker a laugh, and instead of going along with the boy's offer, he commands all of his men to slice the kid down. In 1 second, all of them attack him from every single direction. Muyan is done waiting around and demolishes the entire group, carefully making sure that none of them are killed in the confrontation. With this display of power, Yangchun stands fearless, aura farming while his guard takes care of everyone. The thug is shocked, and yet unsurprised that Yangchun brought such a powerhouse along. At the same time, it's not like he can comply with the young master's demands either. Suddenly, the thug receives a message from the main manager. Seems like they've already heard of the boy already. The messenger offers his words and discusses the situation. Meanwhile, our boy is forming his own thoughts, questioning what they're planning. At this point, he thinks it's a waste of time and requests Muyan to kill them all. But to his surprise, the thug reveals that their boss wishes to see him, so there's no point in fighting anymore. Though annoyed that they couldn't just do this from the beginning, Yangchun tells Muyan to stand down. They follow the thugs, and yet Muyan is still out of the loop and inquiries for information. The boy reveals a hint of his original plan concerning the Vagrant clan. Let's talk about the Vagrant clan itself. It's grouped as one of the 10 prestigious clans, simply because of their incredible information network and reconnaissance skills. However, because they follow the path of virtue, they strictly follow a code that keeps their reputation from harm. Now, since the clan won't be able to do what the boy wants them to, he decided to take the second option. Contrasting the Vagrant clan, there is the Hao clan, known for being malicious in all ways possible, which is why he's here. Descending to the lower floors, the boy finds Wunchu Do, the branch manager of the region. She apologizes for her men responding with force upon first encounter. It's really because they were shocked upon the boy's arrival. Anyway, Yang Chan doesn't care about that and demands to speak with her. The branch manager firstly inquires why someone of the boy's stature has come here of all places, especially to a clan following the malefic path. To that, the boy obviously responds that it's a request that can't be met from the Vagrant clan. The branch manager apologizes for her insistent questions, but it's just that the boy's connection to the House of Ku made them worried for a moment. Yang Chun understands their situation, but he's still waiting on a clear yes from their side. Wunchu Du expresses that their clan promises to do the job of any caliber as long as they're granted the payment. The boy is glad that they're complying and reveals that he's trying to look for someone, specifically a child over the age of 10. He hands over a sketch and details of the kid. Reviewing this document, the branch manager quickly takes a backstep and reveals that they genuinely can't take this request. Unfortunately, one person came before Yang Qian, and their request was basically to look for the child's guardian. This makes it a conflict of interest for both parties, which is hard for them to swallow. Yang Qian happily responds by arrogantly stating that he can offer to pay them back by requesting information about the head of the clan. His words receive a murderous look from all the guards, who immediately draw their weapons to slice him down. But Muyan always comes in to clutch the situation. Bro blocks all 4 of their blades at the same time. Dude is a monster. The branch manager switches their sweet face into one of murderous intent, questioning how the boy knows such critical information. Yang Chun casually states that it's clear both sides have valuable information on each other and that should be enough. Still, Wunchu wants him to prove the validity of his information, but to that the young master responds that they'll regret testing that out with him. After all, if they do refuse him here, he's going to go and visit the Vagrant clan and reveal important information about the Hao clan's leader. It's a serious threat that the branch manager can't overlook, so she's forced to accept. To that, the boy questions just how long it will take for them to execute the request. The Hao clan emphasizes that it will take a minimum of 3 months for them, but it's a good time horizon for Yang Qian, and he leaves stating that they'll conduct an official exchange once they've fulfilled his request. However, the boy stops to find the branch manager's gloomy expression, and hints at the Yejok mountain range, alerting Wunchu as he leaves, stating that it's a hint for now. The branch manager is in shambles, while the thug questions if she really trusts a boy to be speaking the truth. The reason she's actually confident in his information is because he knows about their clan head missing, which is why they'll have to take him at his word. However, not even Wunchu gets what the boy is plotting, believing that he has own goals. At the same time, she thinks that such critical information couldn't have been obtained by the young master, which means that the clan head of House Ku must share some involvement. Now, this isn't the case, but that's what she suspects. Ripping off her mask, she reveals her true face, which appears much younger than the older woman she portrays. Wunchu tackles her thoughts, recalling how the clan head actually went into hiding because the clan doesn't exactly respect their master. This is why he had to run away into hiding to prevent people from rebelling against him. That man also just so happens to be her father, which is why this matter is so important to her. The scene cuts to Yang Qian and his guard exiting the building. Overall, despite his confident demeanor back there, our boy was worried that the matter could escalate into a direction he didn't want. It's thanks to the information of his previous life that is coming to use now. From that, he knows about the clan head of the Hao clan being held captive for 5 years. He's also the same reason the clan waged a war against the Obsidian Night Palace. Though the Murim Alliance's attack resulted in a complete catastrophe for the Obsidian Night Palace, unfortunately, the goal of saving the clan head resulted in a tragic death for him. This basically drove the clan to the edge of extinction. The only problem is, not even the boy knows about the information about the location of the Obsidian Night Palace. It's only thanks to the general knowledge that he had that won him the request. Though it's annoying for him to go to such an extent, Yang Qian believes that it's absolutely critical that he finds the young boy. After all, that very same boy would inevitably go on to become one of the most trusted and important figures of the demonic temple. He was known as the strategist and the demonic temple's mastermind, Hyuk Jagal. That's why Yang Qian wants to eliminate him as soon as possible, recalling how the dude's strategies were so cunning that it became an issue for a powerful warrior like Seola many times. If he fails to subdue him here and now, things will get much worse for them all. Muyun cuts off his thoughts and questions what the boy is searching for. But he does add that the request should be fulfilled by summer, and he's also cautious of the young master's knowledge of the Hao clan. Well, Yang Chun confirms that he'll receive the information by summer, but something else comes up and bothers him. He sharply remembers that this is around the same time when House Yan's secret treasure mine was discovered. Unfathomable wealth rested inside that place, but none of it held a candle to the priceless spirit pills. Those pills allowed any person to reach a higher level of martial arts. And in the original timeline, it helped someone become so powerful that they were acknowledged by the heavenly demon. So now the kid has two issues to deal with: Jiggle and the spirit pills. And though he wants to attend to the matter of pills, it's going to be difficult to track down information. So our boy goes with a 1000 IQ strategy that you've probably heard of before. It's called giving up because this shit is too hard. After all, there's just too much going on and he'll have trouble locating the treasure. Let's cut the scene to Seola, who is surprised because a dude is hitting on her and requesting that she serve him instead. The second elder immediately finds Seola's grandpa, stating that he only came this far because of the little boy, and he's even more shocked to find the sovereign sword himself looking after the boy. They both share a laugh as the second elder reminds him to keep on working. This pisses him off as he casually shatters the broom, questioning why Elder Ryun came here at all. The interesting thing is how even Bear Grandpa, who is supposed to be seriously powerful, is afraid of the sovereign sword's wrath. The sovereign sword tells him to pick up the pieces of the broom, and while Elder Ryun is doing that, he inquires about the real motivation the second elder came here. At the same time, he's not surprised that Ryun came here, especially since he's piqued his interest. Just 3 months ago, the kid was incapable of mastering the horse stance of the family, and now, all of a sudden, he has the talent to defeat his superior sister. The fact that his blaze wheel technique has reached a point of stabilization only continues to point in the direction that the boy is a hidden gem that needs investing in. To that, the sovereign sword wisely questions if they can really call it talent. After all, in all of his life, he had yet to see a child progress so rapidly in the span of a few months. This makes him suspicious of the boy, and he believes that the first elder of the House of Ku is probably making his move in secrecy because of the boy's recent developments. Now, of course, even Ryun agrees with this observation. As for the boy, they can't tell where he went. The good thing is, he won't be getting in harm's way anytime soon because of the people keeping close tabs on him. Let's go back to the Seola predicament, where she finds herself in a unique situation of being confessed love. The adorable girl internalizes to the reader how she had a bad dream last night. In this low-detailed dream, she was beating the crap out of many people, and she didn't stop until she got what she wanted. Though she wanted to stop, she ended up hurting the people she loved inside a house too. That's when an old man in the house told her that he would have succeeded in defeating her. Shortly after this, he stabbed the girl right in her abdomen. Waking up from that terrible nightmare, the only words that released from her mouth were one of guilt and an apology. She woke up and wanted to see Yang Chun right away, and Manhwa, the senior servant, told her to search for him in the training grounds. She tried doing that but ended up arriving even sooner than Yang Chun, finding someone else at the training grounds. Seola was promised a lot of happiness if she served him instead of her current master, even though she was already pleased being at Yang Chun's side. Afterwards, our boy appeared on the verge of exploding, and well, he confronted the random boy, questioning his identity and intentions. Seeing the embarrassed look on his face, even Yang Chun thinks that this dude is probably creepy as hell. Anyway, the boy apologizes for not introducing himself properly and reveals that he knows about the young master. He probably introduces himself as Jeolyup Ku, and he wants a sparring match with him. But our boy is quick on the draw and rejects the offer immediately, shocking the boy because his refusal implies he's running away like a coward. But Yang Chun has no shame in admitting that, which pisses the other kid off, and he calls the young master weak for it. Our boy continues to admit that he's indeed extremely weak, so there's no harm in admitting the truth. This leaves the kid speechless. Here's the main issue. If Yang Chun tries to spar with someone randomly off the bat, he'll get in even more trouble than before. But as he's leaving, his life is once again ruined by Grandpa Bear, popping out of nowhere as he implores Yang Chun to accept the battle. Jeolyup greets the second elder with respect too, and refreshes our boy's memory of him. It's revealed that he's actually the grandson of the first elder, sharing a resemblance on their face. The second elder is really accepting of the idea of their spar, while Yang Chun straight up calls out the boy's creepy intentions to seduce Seola. This also makes him wonder if Jeolyup actually came here on behalf of the first elder, which is probably the reason he asked for a spar. Turns out that this fight is actually a political one, rather than one that concerns martial arts. Now, the first elder is known to be extremely ambitious in his endeavors, which is the reason he's been skillfully manipulating the scene from behind, making sure a weak-ass clown like Yang Chun takes the position of househead so that he can manipulate him. However, Now that the same incompetent boy has defeated his marvelous sister, things have become complicated, which is why Jeoliop is being sent to beat Yangchun's ass. Still, our boy shows no signs of interest in facing the kid, even though Elder Ryun thinks it would be a good idea to show kindness. Yangchun argues that there's no point in fighting when he knows the outcome of the battle will result in a loss. To that, Grandpa Bear gently encourages Yangchun, stating that he has utmost belief in the boy's ability to win. I'm starting to think that this geezer is genuinely the one who cares the most about Yangchun. We all need supporters like him in our lives. Regardless, Yangchun argues that he's seen enough, and can easily tell that Jeoliop is way more powerful than even his sister, so he's got no interest in fighting a losing battle. But as he's taking Seola away, the bold grandson of the first elder grabs her arm, telling Seola that she's special and shouldn't be around a clown like Yang Cheon. He requests the girl to join him, as he'll promise her an easier life than a wimp like her current master. Here's the absolutely terrifying part. The logical and cautious approach of Yangchun is thrown out the window when he sees Seola in trouble. He puts on a damn scary face and accepts the duel immediately. Well, he does regret his decision in the very next moment, finding himself in the dueling arena against an even stronger opponent. But Bear Grandpa offers his support, believing that it will allow an opportunity for growth for the boy even if he loses. Yangchun argues that he wants something in return for the condition of him participating in this fight. The second elder is more than happy to comply with his terms, but he reminds the child that losing here would be shameful as the heir of the clan lord. But the young boy emphasizes something with conviction, stating that he has no interest in becoming the head of the house to begin with. This revelation jolts a reaction out of Ryun, who argues that it's impossible for him to decide against it as he's the only boy in the family line. Yangchun internalizes his frustration, questioning why people still think he's fond of the decision to become the househead when in reality he actually discarded that decision in the previous life too. To rub salt on the wound, the cunning boy reminds the old geezer that he'll lose on purpose if Elder Ryun backs out from their terms. Grandpa Bear is okay with it as long as there's a condition attached, and that condition is that he has to win this fight no matter what. Facing his opponent, Jeoliop allows the boy an opportunity to warm up. He even apologizes that the situation has come to this, believing he should be pitying Yangchun. After all, they had a match just the previous year, and Jeoliop decimated his ass to the point he couldn't get out of bed for a month. Even Yangchun is like, why the fudge did I forget about something like that? Anyway, Jeoliop expresses that the boy from back then was weak. Even now that he's defeated his talented sister, Jeoliop is of the opinion that it was just a fluke. Bro is out here giving warnings like, I don't want to abuse the weak. At the same time, what he despises the most is seeing a weak and pathetic person soaring to the powerful ranks. Saying as much, Jeoliop imbues his blade with the technique and prepares to unleash his wrath against the boy. He addresses Elder Ryun, stating that he also wants a condition to be fulfilled upon his victory in this match. Grandpa Bear is okay with that idea. Well, unsurprisingly, Jeoliop's condition for the fight is actually Seola. He just had to say the one thing that pissed off every single nerve in our boy's body, pissing him the fuck off for his audacity. The elder is greatly amused by the scene and allows the battle. Jeoliop is actually pretty hesitant as the fight begins. He does nothing but observe the raging red aura emanating from the boy's body. He reveals that traditionally, the stronger opponent is expected to allow his opponent to lead the first move of the battle. Yangchun calls him out on his bullshit and wonders if Jeoliop is actually afraid shitless in this battle. The funny thing is, as competent as Jeoliop is of his strength and control over his internal energy, he just can't trust himself to get even close to the young master's terrifying aura. Even though there are a ton of openings he could exploit, he just can't find himself making the move. Suspecting that Yangchun must be exhausting all of his strength for a show of intimidation, Jeoliop laughs and thinks he's got the edge in this battle. He thinks that it's an incredibly stupid decision from Yangchun's side to exhaust his internal energy like this. Our boy is done waiting around and decides to lead the first attack, and before Jeoliop can even finish his sentence, he's already on top of him. An incredibly fast, thunderous kick nearly catches his opponent, but Jeoliop is still confident and believes that the difference in their speed is far too much still. But to his shock, Yangchun's next attack fucking connects and launches him in the air, ending the battle with a destructive kick in the damn face as he puts Jeoliop on his knees. The boy coughs out blood, while Yangchun humiliates him by purposely delaying his final attack. After all, he doesn't want his opponent bickering about how he only won because of a surprise attack. Jeoliop's ego is instantly humbled as he agrees that he made a mistake looking down on the young master's talent. However, he's far from being finished, believing that he's yet to make his move to return the blow. This means that the battle will continue and become troublesome for Yangchun. Unfortunately, he's once again facing an opponent outclassing him. To make an efficient use of his internal energy, he is efficiently imbuing it in certain parts of the body during his attacks. This way, The body will experience short bursts of strength, preventing his body from entering a state of deviation. However, the fact is clear. Yang Chan can't delay this battle any more than 7 minutes. He has to end the fight by then. As for Jilyup, the kid is channeling a powerful technique called the Scarlet Sword of the Nine Dragons. Yang Chan intends to keep a sharp eye on the blade as best he can. The minute the blade is unsheathed, Yang Chan grows extremely tense and barely has the opportunity to dodge the wide slash. His monstrously fast opponent goes for a follow-up, unleashing a variety of concentrated swings to catch Yang Chan off guard. The caliber of Jilyup's technique shows that he's trained immensely well to refine his abilities. The natural flow of the technique may be a benefit, but it's also a drawback if the sword is interrupted in its flow. Accessing his internal energy, Yang Chan focuses on staying in one place, and just as Jilyup is about to deal a deadly finishing blow on him, the boy unleashes an explosive attack from his body. Interrupting his moves, he basically extinguished the heat inside his body all at once, disrupting Jilyup and giving our boy just the brief moment he needed to finish the battle. Yang Chan annihilates Jilyup's abdomen with such a heavy fist that even I can feel it through the screen. The blazing punch knocks Jilyup crashing into the nearest wall, leaving a damn crater behind it. It's all over, but Yang Chan is unfinished with his words, revealing that he doesn't actually care about the position of the head of the house, or the insults he receives from other people. But the one thing he can't tolerate is when shitty people like Jilyup try to take something forcefully from others. That's the one part that pisses him off the most. He exerts a horrifying level of pressure, recalling that he can never forgive Jilyup for daring to lay a finger on Seola. So much so that he wants to break the guy's arm as a punishment for next time. Bro is fucking brutal, and just as he's about to shatter Jilyup's arm, Elder Ryun catches him and urges him from going any further. After the battle, the boy gets a scolding for going way too far in the battle. But Yang Chan thinks it's only responsible to assume that they'll get hurt in an actual battle. And since Jilyup managed to return home on his own eventually, it means he's fine. However, what's worrisome for Ryun is the fact that the first elder may not take this situation lightly. Yang Chan confesses that he doesn't give a flying crap about becoming the house head anyway, so anything political doesn't matter to him. He even offers Seola the position of house head, and she's ready to accept the duty so long as she gets plenty of food to eat. Anyway, Elder Ryun is serious when he says that it's an important matter. As Yang Chan is casually speaking about how Seola is more powerful than him, he catches himself and realizes that he doesn't know the exact timeline of her mastering the blade. After all, the Sovereign Sword must have started training her at some point in her life as she was the best disciple. But from the looks of it, he's never even seen Seola around a blade, so it confuses him. There's also the fact that she's more dumb in this life than the previous, which makes him wonder what kind of person she actually was at this age. For some reason, not even Yang Chan can confidently recall the details, even though he should be able to remember something like this. The adorable girl asks if he's doing okay, only for Yang Chan to smack her in an effort to help her regain her senses. Anyway, the second elder chooses to forfeit the conversation of the househead for now, and requests the boy to take a rest. But Yang Chan is sharp, and casually stops the old geezer to remind him about their little promise. Elder Ryun is annoyed, but a deal is a deal, so he asks about the boy's request. Pointing out that he's the esteemed second elder, Yang Chan believes that his request must be simple for him to fulfill. Saying so, he points to his right, declaring that he wants to be sent to Sacheon territory. It's a rather confusing task, especially when our boy hilariously learns that he can always go to Sacheon whenever he pleases. This comes as a shock to the young master, who reminds the old geezer that Sacheon isn't exactly close to their region, so it's not a piece of cake like he's assuming. There's also the fact that he can't wander around everywhere as he pleases, as he's constantly monitored and protected. To that, Grandpa Ryun suggests attending the weapons exhibition of House Dang as a meaningful excuse to do his business. Reduced to a baffled face, the boy recalls how the weaponry exhibition is known to invite families each year to showcase the best weapons imaginable. Though it's not a requirement for the boy to attend the event, he can still use it as a proper excuse. Suddenly, Yang Chan switches demands and expresses that his real request is to ask for money. The sharp elder realizes that the boy wants to head to Sacheon as fast as possible, but he's actually excited to send the little boy to Sacheon, much to Yang Chan's worry because he's starting to think it was a really bad idea to ask this guy. But Grandpa Bear roars like an animal, stating that he's going to send him away immediately. The young master reminds him that they would need time to prepare and file a proper report. Grandpa Ryun sways his troubles by stating that he's sending the boy away as an official order, causing the caretakers of the boy to get ready immediately. And before he could even process what was going on, Yang Chan found himself in his carriage. Bro was played by the old geezer and sent off. As for the Sword Sovereign, he tasks Ryun with some household chores, reasoning that the young must help the old. Ryun wants to let something off of his chest by having a word with the Sword Sovereign in silence. Apparently, there have been talks of the clan head looking for the divine physician for a particular reason. The second elder is put on edge and switches topics. He addresses Sayola, declaring his suspicions that the girl doesn't even show a hint of being human. It's as if she's something else entirely. But this inquiry gets the Sovereign Sword so pissed off that he tells Ryun to shut up as he draws multiple divine swords. Ryun continues to boldly state that if Sayola may be a different form of life, recalling how he encountered the girl at the council first, but immediately noticed that she lacked a presence in her body. Elder Ryun emphasizes that the divine physician's medicine won't fix that, and that it's a pointless approach, especially when Sayola doesn't even have an illness. But as he's running his mouth, the Sovereign Sword is forced to unleash dozens of golden swords, emanating a terrifying pressure as he declares Sayola as a human. Unfortunately, Ryun is unconvinced and walks away, accepting the Sovereign Sword's intentions. Intriguingly, in his reflection, her grandfather believes that he's going to fix the missing parts of the girl by making her human. He's fine if it means sacrificing his very own life for the cause, just so that his granddaughter can become a healthy lady as she grows up. A few hours passed by when her grandfather realized she wasn't inside their quarters. By nighttime, they've already been traveling for a few days up until now. Sachon is a bit far away still, while Muyon is concerned over the young master's whereabouts. Turns out Yangchon escaped for a bit to be on his own. They think he's pretty much bored without Sayola. The surprising part is, our boy is actually putting in the damn work by training to the point of exhaustion. Unfortunately, he's still pretty weak as only a few beginner-level punches were able to tire him out easily. Even though 10 whole days had passed on this journey, Yangchon found himself stuck against a wall. He couldn't discover a breakthrough. The one problem he discovered during his matchup against his last opponent, Jol Yap, is the unfortunate reality that he has an extremely low supply of internal energy. This means the first thing he's got to do is home and cultivate his internal energy to its limits. Deciding to activate the demonic art of heavenly absorption, the boy reflects that it siphons internal energy from other beings. But at the same time, with this amazing ability, it slowly corrupts the user from the inside as a side effect of such a power. But in this case, thanks to the blaze wheel technique, he didn't have to suffer any of the after effects of the technique. Now, he doesn't exactly have any demonic energy inside him, which means he can continuously increase his supply of internal energy as long as he kills more demons and obtains more power. Still, the fact is, it's the heavenly demon's martial arts, and that can still become a really big problem for him in this regress timeline. He genuinely doesn't want to meet the same fate that he met in his original life. Suddenly, a loud scream distracts him and grabs his attention. The boy quickly rushes to find Muyon for a bunch of answers. The personal guard reveals that something is going on inside the carriage, causing our boy to inquire for more information on his own. Inside, we discover Sayola popping out with a smile, innocently claiming that she somehow managed to find herself all the way here. Let's go back 10 days ago and see what happened. Sayola wasn't allowed to go to the Sachon region because of her strict grandpa. The only reason he even allowed her to go to the Nine Dragons Council is because he could depend on other people to help her out in times of trouble. But that isn't the case for the Sachon region, which could bring about a number of issues for the girl. The grandpa insisted that they get the move on and work with laundry for now. However, Sayola found herself depressed, recalling how Yangchon won't be returning for at least a month. She's terrible with her chores on top of that, and unfortunately there's nothing she excels at, so it's not like her going along would add to any benefits. But suddenly a voice calls out to her and startles the young girl. Searching around, she recalls hearing a proper voice from the box nearby. Desperately, the girl tries looking around for an answer, when suddenly, a hand pushes her over, making her trip and crash inside the rationing area. Sayola actually didn't even want to go inside, but she was tricked by someone. Poor girl was scared and begging for help, but those same pair of astral hands seemed to hypnotize her into a state of sleepiness. Within a matter of moments, the same Sayola flopped to the ground, fully knocked out as the voice apologized for its actions. And that's how the carriage began moving, with the voice's final words remarking that Sayola's supposed to be the one to protect them. Anyway, the little girl's explanation basically does little to nothing because all three of them are just baffled by what she just said. Their reaction makes Sayola wonder if she'd done something wrong, so she tries to hammer the point again and conclude her story. According to her story, she was tricked by a ghost to enter the carriage, and that's probably the one story no one will ever believe. Yangchon wanted the girl to go back, but there was no point anymore. They continued their travels during the night when suddenly, an owl hovered over close by. Sayola kept taking notice of all the animals nearby and described eating them with delight. Even our boy is horrified that this girl is merciless when it comes to her appetite. His original idea was to send her back to the House of Ku, but unfortunately, they're running short on supplies already, and sending her back would have wasted them even more. Wiggling a worm in his face, Sayola offers to trade it with a yakwa, but bro at this point is so pissed he tosses the snack away. this time regretting the decision of keeping her on the journey. Their carefree attitude comes to an end actually when Young Chun senses the arrival of something. He alerts Muyeon, who further engages the rest of the guards to stop. Just when he thought that things were getting peaceful, he sensed 4 demons in the distance. But to his surprise, he could now only feel the presence of 3. And before he could even know it, only 1 was left. This final one tries to attack the carriage, and right as our boy is about to defeat the creature, a silver-haired girl wearing a purple robe unleashes her blade and severs the demonic beast in half. She quickly sheathes her sword afterwards, apologizing for being irresponsible with her prey and letting it near the carriage. Not even Yang Chun has any idea of the identity of the girl at first, until she turns to look at him, giving this guy a shock of a lifetime. Recalling gruesome memories of this very same woman severing multiple warriors to pieces, he sees that the hot baddie from his memories who coincidentally met him on his journey to Sacheon in his past life too. That same girl made the same request in this timeline too, asking to join them for the journey. The beautiful lady is known as Bia Namgung, or the Mad Woman as Yang Chun hauntingly remembers her. Let's go back to their horrifying first encounter in the previous life. This woman slaughtered all the warriors around in cold blood, while the demon martial artist Yang Chun questioned if she was really responsible for killing them all. Turns out they're both on the same side. Namgung wants to know about their master's orders, and learns that Yang Chun was sent here to retrieve her, or else she'd be going crazy murdering everybody. He scolded her greatly for being batshit crazy. The funny part is that being a cold-blooded murderer, this girl struggles with navigation and is so dyslexic that she can't figure left from right. Finding the idiot a waste of his time, he tells her to just follow him. Yang Chun found her a piece of work to deal with, while Namgung curiously asked about the strength of the sovereign sword. To that, he responded to her by a warning not to engage with any of the sovereigns, as they're supposed to be rivals of the heavenly demon and not them. But Namgung of all people was a curious person, and wanted to know how the blade of the sovereign sword compared to her own, or even their master's. As she went on to yap all day, our boy got pissed and threw an attack right towards her. But without even glancing in his general direction, she sliced the energy ball in half, questioning what the fuck was that about. She was ready to throw hands with him right there and then too. This girl is straight up aura farming. Yang Chun emphasizes that he shot the attack because she's still following the wrong direction, reminding the idiot to just keep up with him. As they were navigating along, she annoyed him by asking another question. But only this time, Yang Chun was serious about tearing her to pieces if she asked about information about the sovereigns again. To his surprise, the girl pointed to another pathway, suggesting that it might be a faster route. Yang Chun had no idea what this girl was yapping about, but before he could even react properly, she was already gone. Here's the hilarious conclusion. Bro reached his destination within the same day, while the crazy chick arrived 4 days late. She sucks at following orders. Anyway, back to the present. Namgung understands that they're headed to Sacheon and requests joining along. But of course, knowing their shitty history together, Yang Chun is like, nah, you're not allowed, bitch. After all, he just can't imagine reliving through that hectic routine again. Aside from that, she will bring him a shit ton of trouble if not for anything else. To keep matters simple, Yang Chun makes it a matter of trust, pointing out that he can't trust a stranger in the middle of the night. Realizing that she has to earn his trust, the girl unleashes a concentrated lightning technique. She's out here turning into Super Saiyan 2 with the kind of attack she's charging up. Muyeon immediately senses danger from her usage of the ruler's sword technique. The technique results in a gigantic explosion of energy from her body, but before any harm was caused, Muyeon had already stepped in to stop her. Bia simply wanted to prove her identity and gain trust with the display of her power. With this, Yang Chun has no way but to accept her connection to the Namgung family, so he makes up a second excuse, stating that he can't risk allowing a terrifying technique user join them along. And well, what ends up happening is that Bia actually follows their carriage all the way to the point they were supposed to take rest. Yang Chun has no idea why she's following them and still keeping a safe distance. Not to mention the fact that he even tried lying to her by stating that their destination wasn't Sacheon at all. For now, he doesn't want to confront her but focuses on ignoring. But it's already too late for that because Siola's already out there teaching the girl how to peel a frog properly. Our boy gets irritated and yanks her away, questioning what the hell she's doing all of a sudden, especially when he ordered her not to linger around aimlessly. Bia shoots an empty glare towards his direction, as if to ask, "What's your problem?" Our boy addresses her and asks what she's doing out in the middle of nowhere from her family. Turns out that Bia actually set off with her family, but embarrassingly, the idiot ended up getting lost from their path. It's exactly what Yang Chun suspected anyway, recalling how shitty she was with directions in her previous life too. The boy then questions why she's choosing to follow them even when he clarified that they won't be going to the Sacheon region. Bia is surprised and decides to ask again for their travel destination. Seola innocently turns to Yangchon, who shakes his head in disapproval. The adorable brat still doesn't get the damn hint and blurts out the truth in shock, making Yangchon regret his decision of not sending her back yet again. Anyway, he doesn't really care about Bia anymore and tells her to do whatever she wants from a safe distance. She redundantly introduces herself to him, requesting the boy to introduce himself as well. With a heavy heart, Bro literally adopts the identity of Jeolyup Koo, expressing that he belongs from the House of Koo. This is the only way for him to maintain a disguise. 2 days passed by. Seola and Bia quickly became associated with each other. This actually slowed down the journey significantly because this adorable potato would always leave the carriage to talk to the other girl. Yangchon found himself irritated that she refused to get on even after he made his position clear on Bia's case. Finding himself exhausted, he asks Muyan about the time left to reach their destination. The OP guard reveals that they should have arrived within a day, but with the current speed, it's gonna take them at least 3 more days. That's crazy. Though he's unaware why Yangchon is so cautious of the young lady, he thinks it would be better to allow her a spot on the carriage for a faster journey. At this point, our boy just can't take it anymore and gives up in the end. He plans to take a break to think through his plans in the nearby village. Both the young master and his servant are discussing their travel plans. There's still 1 day left. Luckily, they didn't have to camp out for the previous night. As for Seola, she keeps on offering Bia to tag along and sleep with them, but she doesn't know if that's going to be okay. Anyway, Yangchon is shocked that a lady of such stature is carrying another family's servant. But Bia seems to be generous and just wants to help the girl who is tired out. But young Master Yangchon recommends that if that is the case, then Seola should just focus on resting inside the carriage. Now that they're inside the village, he tells Seola to just get off her back. Bia asks her, but the adorable potato points towards the approaching group of men who are wearing a similar attire to Bia. The man leading them is actually Bia's brother, who was worried sick where the hell she'd gone. They tried so hard looking for her, but she ended up lost anyway. He regrets not tying her up earlier to prevent such a mishap. Anyway, her brother is finally calming down after worrying about his sister's condition. But he's even more surprised by the group of people behind her. Seola is the first to introduce herself, while Yangchon is still annoyed that she isn't getting off her back. Taking a closer look at Bia's sibling, our boy remembers him as the Lightning Sword, who is destined to become one of the 5 greatest swordsmen in the entire world. Now that is a crazy title. That same boy was greeting him with kindness, introducing himself as Cheonjun Namgung, the Lightning Dragon. At first, our boy accidentally spits out his real name, but then he realizes he has to maintain the disguise of Jeolyup, sharing his honor to meet such an important figure here. Cheonjun appears embarrassed being held in high regard, but he's all the more serious and concerned when it comes to the matters of his sister. Scared shitless, Yangchun jumps to explain that they met on the way to Sacheon. Unfortunately, Bro blurted out that their destination was really Sacheon all along, causing Bia to catch his lie immediately. This turns the situation even worse, but Cheonjun is okay because he knows that his sister can be quite the handful to deal with. For now, he wants to offer the House of Koo a chance to stay in one of their rooms, but Yangchun turns this offer down, stating that they were only doing what they thought was right. Though it's a good offer, Bro just doesn't want to be around this crazy psychopath of a girl anymore and hopes to look elsewhere. Unfortunately, Muyan has to remind his young master that they really don't have any rooms booked either. He offers the idea of camping, but Muyan cuts him off, stating that their servants are exhausted beyond hell, so it's going to be hectic to force a camp again. And well, that's how he had to accept the offer in the end. Let's actually go back to Bia's background as the demonic martial artist in her previous life. The first thing she ever did after becoming one was annihilating her entire clan. This is the same woman who killed her own brother and her father, as well as the disciples of the clan. That led to her title of the Demonic Sword Empress, leading to a reputation unlike any other. To this day, Yangchon has no clue what drove her to such limits to have killed her family in cold blood. But based on their conversation earlier, he couldn't tell any hostility between her and her brother. The weirdest thing about her is the technique called the Ruler's Sword. Back then, when she showcased a hint of it, he could already tell it was much stronger than her brother's. And yet, even after the display of such a powerful ability, unlike the Lightning Dragon, she doesn't seem to have a nickname of any kind. It only makes the boy wonder if there's some kind of internal conflict going on inside the house. Coming out of his room, he accidentally stumbles into Cheonjun, greeting him with kindness. But to Yangchon's shock, the bastard not only ignores him but also shoves him away, coldly reminding our boy to know his place. Yangchon has no clue what the fudge just happened. Cheonjun goes on to express that he doesn't want a shit piece like the boy to be conveniently talking to his sister. He thinks Bia has been somehow seduced by him, especially when she's extremely gullible. Therefore, this dude is prepared to slice Yangchon in half if he ever dares to speak to his sister again, not to mention the sight of the servant casually mounting on her back. But when Bia suddenly makes an appearance and comes into frame, Bro literally switches personalities and acts like the sweetest and most welcoming child in the world. Yang-chan is out there standing like, what the heck is going on? And his final conclusion about the Namgung family is that these idiots are all crazy in the end. Muyeon the same day greets his master and tries to talk about the matters regarding the Namgung family. But our boy has had enough of his fill already and wants to leave. Muyeon expresses that it's pretty easy for them to set off after breakfast. This is good news to our boy because he's just dying to leave already. He wants to make sure he doesn't become an enemy of the Namgung family from this point onwards. Arriving to get breakfast, he finds Seola and Bia enjoying their meal. Bro is struggling to sit between the two girls, questioning his decision. And well, the moment he does take a seat, Bia's brother is out here on the verge of exploding like a nuclear bomb, giving Yang-chan a murderous glare from the opposite table. The funniest part is that every time Bia turns to look at Cheonjun, Bro changes his personality into a sweet child. Even Yang-cheon is questioning if this is some kind of technique at this point, because how does one even do that? Though he perfectly understands why Cheonjun is behaving in this manner, the good thing is that they won't be running into each other again at the weaponry exhibition. Yang-chan finishes his meal early, deciding to exit the room as fast as possible. He says goodbye to Bia, who finds herself sensing some kind of dark stench from him. Cheonjun comes up to confront his sister, inquiring why she chose to sit on the side of the House of Ku. She takes one glance at him, at Cheonjun, and realizes that the stench is actually coming from him instead. The lightning dragon recommends that she sit with her own house next time around. Bia doesn't focus on contesting his opinion and simply apologizes. She sees Yang-cheon and the others leaving and tries to follow them, stating that she wants to rest in the carriage for a while. Her brother is still baffled by her interest. Anyway, she catches up to our boy, who is peeved by her following them. Cheonjun literally does a Kaneki finger crack from Tokyo Ghoul, expressing his sheer hatred for random intruders. As for the girl, he tells Yang-cheon that she's not just stalking them, rather she wants to travel alongside them. The young master of House Ku doesn't get why she's hoping to travel with them when she's got her own brother and the House of Namgung ready to set off. Well, Seola beams with confidence and states that she's the reason why. Pissed as shit, Yang-cheon is done tolerating the stupid girls and wants them both off of the carriage. The guard insists that they'll meet their destination soon enough. After all, they're finally in the beautiful Sacheon region. Let's discuss House Dang of Sacheon. Following the virtuous path, this family took shelter in the Sacheon for many centuries. If the Namgung family excelled with their blade, and the Ping family overwhelmed with their strength, there was also the Dang family, who were the best when it came to poisoning and the mastery of metals alike. This weaponry exhibition held by the Dang family is simply a result of their brilliant reputation. Yang-chan, on the other hand, finds himself in a state of contemplation, recalling how he has 3 days to fulfill his task of finding the secret room. Knowing that it's in the Sacheon region, he could potentially start tracking it down, but for now, it's still too difficult. And the worst part? If he doesn't find it, he's going to have to consult the Vagrant clan to find it for him. Still won't change the fact that he's going to have to explore most of the city to get any meaningful outcome. Seola startles him all of a sudden as she admires the beautiful view from such a height, not to mention the incomparable wind. Giving him a sweet smile, she asks him to look at the fireflies dancing pretty under the moonlight. But to Yang-cheon, dude is unimpressed. Seola forces him away to help explore a lake nearby. A while later, they arrive standing under the graveyard of stars and the bright moon. The lake is huge, and unfortunately she got a beating for recklessly dragging him here. Even the young master is shocked about the sheer size of House Dang for having a forest to themselves. Calling his name, the silly Seola teases him with a game of peekaboo using a bunch of flowers. The girl is simply trying to make him happy, knowing that he's in a bad mood, so she's doing everything she can. But Yang-cheon concludes that there's nothing she can do to help him. The insistent servant wants him to let his problems off his chest because she's ready to hear him out. Bro decides to gamble on the opportunity and supposes a situation where someone hid a treasure in the giant city. He wants to hear how Seola would try to find such a treasure. Giving him a stern glare, the adorable Seola doesn't even help and simply thinks the person who hid the treasure was being rude. While they're chatting about, a certain someone comes along to question what the two of them are doing in a restricted area. Yang-cheon realizes that it's true because they're basically in the House of Dang. The woman before him is actually responsible for stopping thousands upon thousands of demonic martial artists from razing the Sacheon region. Yes, this girl boss did all of that on her own. The poisonous queen, Soyeol Dang, and the same woman who died by his hands in his previous life. Let's actually take a look at how that happened. At the edge of defeat, Soyeol had nothing to pull. No more tricks left, while the demonic martial artist before her simply stepped forth, questioning if the poisonous queen was finished at last. Her eyes were no more, an injury she sustained from her battles, so she could barely question if he was a familiar person. Yang-cheon at the time remarked that her family abandoned her completely, and that she's the only one from House Dang who stayed behind to protect the Sacheon region. In the end, nothing changed, which makes him question why she went to such limits. To that, the poisonous queen asked why he was here all the same then. Provoked by her question, he hastened to grab her neck, declaring that he's here to end her life, of course. Resisting the urge to say harder daddy, the poisonous queen apologizes to the demonic martial artist, which only made Yangchan even more shocked and confused. At this point, Soyeol concluded that she might have lost her mind, and right after losing both of her eyes, she could truly see everything even beyond normal sight. She thinks that she should have gone insane much sooner instead. Yangchan told her to conclude her yapping session already. The poisonous queen's final words weren't something related to her, but a final wish for Yangchan. But before she could finish her words, Bro snapped her neck, ending her life as he walked away. A look of sadness and conflict showed on his face as he observed his hand. Well, Soyeol was here rambling in his damn face again. But knowing her at her current age, her nickname is actually the Poisonous Phoenix. Soyeol is pretty insistent when suddenly Bia comes around to clarify the situation. The representative of the House of Dang is stunned to hear the news and pulls an attitude switch, greeting Yangchan with delight and apologizing against a guest. Dude still maintains his identity of Jeolyupku. But that doesn't stop Soyeol from being annoyed why he is meddling around the lake of all places. After all, the Dang family doesn't prevent outsiders from casually stepping in. But when Yangchan points out that Bia is also an outsider, it pisses the girl off because she knows he's staring straight facts. This also means that they're being told to leave, so our boy takes the hint and focuses on doing exactly that. He and Seola go away, causing Soyeol a bit of annoyance. She was glaring at him earlier because he wouldn't accept his mistakes of stepping foot here. The funniest part is that this girl actually admits that our boy is hot, but that still doesn't mean she's gonna go easy on him. Her little confession just now makes her realize what she just said, and she jumps to clarify her point to Bia. The silver-haired girl is just confused as ever, because the only way she remembers seeing him is as a rude and grumbling person. Soyeol goes away talking about how kind people are more beautiful than handsome people, which is still pretty funny because she's dragging this for no reason. The following morning, Yangchan steps out of his room. Knowing that the exhibition is in 1 day's time, he wants to train for a bit. But to his surprise, the moment he opens the door, he's greeted by Bia and Cheonjun. Both made a surprising appearance. Well, turns out that the Dang family invited them for a meal, so that's why they're here. Bia wanted to tag Yangchan along as well, which is why they're here. However, our boy acts like he's a shy soul, which is a polite way of declining. Internally, Bro is hoping to God that these clowns leave him alone. But Cheonjun is insistent. Bro is pissed off too and grabs Yangchan's arm. This is getting irritating for the young master who keeps refusing, and yet he's dragged along for no reason. Fully pissed, Yangchan releases a hint of his aura, to the point Cheonjun has no point but to pull away. But that's about it for his tough guy act. Yangchan accepts the offer and realizes that there's no way out of this one. Just one last thing for Cheonjun, he drags him away for a polite little chat, reminding the bastard that he's got a bitch face for glaring at him like that in front of his sister. This bone-chilling warning pisses Cheonjun off, but he can't do anything but simply put on an act in front of his sister. Arriving to get breakfast, Yangchan stares down at a variety of spicy food options. He's really having a hard time selecting what to eat when everything here is drenched in spices. The House of Dang insists that they eat to their heart's content, but Yangchan is afraid and decides to go for the safest option, dumplings. As he's about to pick one and take it in his mouth, he notices the poisonous queen staring him down with a careful glare. She's been staring at him just like that in his past life as well, making him wonder what's the deal with her. He's a bit annoyed having to deal with the same pensive stare again. Anyway, the young master puts the dumpling in his mouth, immediately stunning himself with the sizzling spice. Dude is begging for a chance to spit it out without looking disrespectful. Even Soyeol appears to be having trouble with the level of spice. Bia offers him water to survive and actually offers him a piece of meat that isn't as spicy. Seeing her casually talking to him like this, the young master questions why she's doing this. Meanwhile, I just love how Cheonjun is out here crushing his chopsticks out of sheer frustration. Finally, Soyeol comes around to sit right next to our boy, showcasing much of her shyness, much to his confusion. This man is about to end up with a harem at this point. Bro is collecting girls from every region. Yangchan teases Soyeol for having a lot to say, but she's a flustered mess. Girl is so bold that she nearly asks him if he was into her looks, when suddenly Cheonjun interrupts and asks for a training ground area. Unfortunately, the place is reserved for family members only. The place is well maintained, but Cheonjun is interested in taking a visit, so they all think it's a good idea to go there collectively after the meal. Meanwhile, Yangchan is getting a bad feeling, realizing that this guy must be plotting something fishy behind his back. Fast forwarding to the scene of the arena, the training ground is gigantic compared to the ones they've had before. To this day, Not even the successors of the Dang family have any clue why their ancestors made it so big. Cheonjun laughs it off, and they all learn that Soyeol personally grew up training in these grounds when she was still interested in sparring. Hearing that much about her, Yangchun is glad that he's not in Soyeol's brother's position because he wouldn't want to deal with her. The cute thing about the young poisonous queen is that she feels embarrassed after her brother blurted out that fact. Cheonjun believes that it's a good idea to digest food with a bit of training. He's been waiting for this opportunity after all, and straight up challenges Yangchun for a spar. This bastard's smiling face just shows how much he wants to beat up our boy in a fight. But of course, he's not stupid to comply so easily. Yangchun confesses that he's merely a third-rate martial artist, so there's no point in fighting. Soyeol roars ahead, stating that it would be terrifying if Cheonjun ended up hurting our boy's pretty face, especially considering the age difference between the two. I just love how she's down bad about him and not even pretending to hide it. Cheonjun expresses that neither of them will use internal energy, and this will be more or less an instructional battle than anything. With this new proposal, he's waiting for Yangchun's answer with a confident face. Hearing that there won't be any use of internal energy in this battle, Yangchun finds himself amused and questions if such a fight will even be possible. The bitch face doesn't get his question, so our boy clarifies and repeats himself. He's dying to know if Cheonjun is really in the position to instruct him at all. Seeing the tension rise between the two of them, Soyeol's brother sweeps in to tell Yangchun that he should respect Cheonjun for his age. Still, the bitch face is fine with accepting the challenge, convulsing his aura, curious to see just how good his opponent really is. Before Cheonjun is even able to allow him the courtesy of making the first move, Yangchun cuts the dude off and declares that he will go second. This makes Cheonjun seethe with his blood boiling as he rages on ahead for a first strike. Yangchun casually evades the slice. It's a heavy blow, but Cheonjun isn't stopping there. He follows up with a piercing or a jabbing motion, causing our boy to draw away. From the way this fight is going, Yangchun notices that he's facing an opponent who plays with feints and fake strikes. But it's a good thing he knows exactly what Cheonjun's intentions are, allowing him to maneuver against his blade without much trouble. Soyeol witnesses this battle take place, which gives us a good opportunity to take a look into her past. She was different from her siblings from the very moment she was born. The children loved chasing after normal pets, but she was comfortable around wolves and tigers alike. The girl was fearless around creatures that opposed each other. These creatures stood at the top of their respective food chain, but these strong animals were much more beautiful to her than the ones that became their prey. It's actually this very reason that made it difficult for Soyeol to be attracted to someone. She was more interested and fascinated by powerful beasts than humans, though she was hoping that she could find someone like that in the exhibition. It was true that Cheonjun was strong, but hilariously, she found him feminine-looking more than anything. God damn, she really destroyed the twinks here. She regretted that most men weren't like the respectable wolf Dangrang. But in the end, she did end up encountering someone she was fascinated by. A boy that had her in a chokehold from the moment he was in front of her. Soyeol's heart was beating so fast and she didn't know why. At first, she thought that it was just a fleeting feeling, and that tomorrow, she would see him no differently than any other person. But when they had breakfast the next day, he appeared as bright as ever. Eyes unlike any other, an inability to eat spicy food. Bro did the smallest of actions, and this obsessive bitch was down bad for him for it. Before she even knew, she was already sitting next to him and breaking down. Realizing that it was really love, the bold Soyeol was moments away from confessing her love with the next step. And well, that's how they got here. In the training area, a piece of Cheonjun's wooden sword is shattered and goes out of bounds. As for the battle, Bro is finding himself winded. Dude is demolished because he just can't get an edge on our boy, who is enjoying Cheonjun's demise. The scene makes Soyeol a steaming mess for him again. The girl literally drops to her knees here. Let's focus on the fight now. The bitch face is out here getting a reality check that he's not as special as he thought he would be. He's being toyed with even after making serious attacks. In his helpless state, Yangchun gives him a lesson to remember. He talks about how geniuses and talented people think way too much during their decisions, which opens a path of exploitation, a weakness. Yangchun is of the opinion that in a real battle, he would have killed this guy 3 times at least. His punch strikes the ground as Bia's brother draws away in fear, calling his opponent a coward for attacking when he didn't have a weapon. But our boy is a straight-up shit-talker. He tells Bitchface to grab another weapon and continue on the fight. After all, this is supposed to be an instructional spar, so the senior fighter should be teaching him lots here. Cheonjun is seething with rage as he picks another blade as Yangchun continues to talk down on his opponent. But all of a sudden, Bitchface forgets about the rule of not using any internal energy and imbues his blade with its full might. Then he charges against Yangchun. The ironic thing is that he still misses. Yangchun, who wants to return the blow with double the payback, retaliates with a punch. But before he can do anything, Cheonjun pulls up with a slashing cage technique to entrap him. Regardless, Our boy is literally him because he breaks the slashes and frees himself, proving his worth as a fighter and as an opponent even stronger than Cheonjun. Now that he doesn't have any reason to hold back anymore, Yang Chun thinks it is time for him to unleash his might. So he goes for the all-powerful, anti-army, anti-world, anti-universe, ultra-mega super-powerful generational nutcracker technique. Bro cracks his egg so hard that even I felt it. Just look at Cheonjun's face, bro reaped his damn soul. The funniest part is how the author conveys how the eggs were literally cracked from that attack. Yang Chun stands over him as the victor while he's trembling like a near-dead animal. Giving him a final look of arrogance, he laughs at his opponent's misery and wonders if he ended Cheonjun's bloodline here. Cheonjun's on the ground whining like a dog and cursing our boy out, causing Yang Chun to taunt him for perhaps maintaining his family jewels intact for being able to still speak. Cheonjun calls him a cowardly martial artist and that he's going to report the matter to every single martial house he knows of, forcing them to act against Yang Chun. All of a sudden, the young master of the House of Ku amusingly asks him how many men he's killed. Cheonjun tries to feign ignorance, but our boy knows the truth about his life. Cheonjun had killed at least around a dozen people here after all. Yang Chun makes it his business to pin his arm in a position that makes him tremble in torture. At this point, Soyol's brother interrupts and urges to stop the fight. But Yang Chun is right to call them out on their bullshit, as they all clearly saw this guy use the internal energy before, as well as the fact that he wanted to kill him in this battle. They can't even use the excuse that he was just a young person, because he was still older than our boy in the end. Soyol's brother emphasizes that Cheonjun belongs to the Namgung house, so going any further than this will only invite trouble to Yang Chun's doorstep. The boy clarifies that he's holding back much of his power specifically because of that knowledge, but he's dying to know what would have been House Dang's reaction if the opposite happened and their positions were switched. While he's in the middle of thinking that over, our boy ruthlessly shatters the bastard's arm, leaving Cheonjun in a state of agony and pain. But it's only after he's done breaking the dude's arm that Yang Chun realizes that he might have pushed it too far. After all, the second elder might react harshly to this, knowing that he reduced the lightning dragon to a shitty mess. On second thought, he thinks that Elder Ryun might actually praise him for the accomplishment, so it may not be as bad as he thinks. The best part is that he's got witnesses all around this time, and it's clear that Cheonjun is wrong in this case. Just as the boy is leaving, Bia grabs his sleeve and stops him. This time, she desires to know his name, his real name. Yang Chun pulls away and reminds her that he's Jeolyup Ku, of course. But somehow Bia knows that he's lying to her face. The boy doesn't have any interest in telling her his name, questioning if she's asking so that she can report the matter to the higher-ups. A thought clings to his mind. He just destroyed her brother Black and Blue, and yet Bia wasn't even sad or angry. Drawing closer to his face, she requests to know his real name. Bro is getting rizzed up by every house, and he calls her out for addressing him so informally. Bia corrects herself with actual manners and honorifics attached, and requests to know his identity. Yang Chun wants her to stop stalking him around in case he does, and she agrees to uphold that promise. Deciding for a moment, he ends up telling her his real name, fluttering the feelings inside her heart. Yeah, this dude is literally Mr. Steal Your Girl at this point. A while later, Yang Chun comes to the realization that he can't attend the exhibition anymore, but he's still okay with that, since it will only give him time to look for the secret treasure room. But for now, he's got to rest after that tiresome battle. Also, he's not exactly having the most pleasant thoughts wondering how Muyon's reaction will be after hearing the news. In the next scene, Seola's all by herself looking at the view. Muyon rages inside to find the young master and asks if the girl has seen him somewhere. She states that he's nowhere around, but this guy is suspicious as heck and scans the entire room. Muyon expresses that Yang Chun has yet to return from his breakfast with the House of Dang. While he's out here losing his mind and learning about the news of his victory against Cheonjun, Seola is busy scanning the city again. The scene drifts off to delve into the House Yeon of Gumcheon region. At a certain point in time, they were once known as the strongest and wealthiest house. They were responsible for the creation of powerful martial artists and ruled over many large companies. But in the end, their glorious reign came to a tragic end with a family massacre. No one knows who caused it. Based on the records of the family, it came to people's knowledge that their family treasure hid under a white maple tree. But that same dang tree has become a pain in the ass for our boy to find. Yang Chun can't even find a maple tree, let alone its color being white. He's been searching all day and there's just no way of finding a tree like that. At this point, he thinks it must be a ridiculous rumor that caused misinformation. While he's resting, Yang Chun finds himself exhausted. Not only did he barely eat breakfast because of the spiciness, he also had an exhausting battle. And the next thing he did was climb a mountain all day long. From out of nowhere, Seola catches up to him and offers him a yakwa, causing him to appreciate her in his own way. He's also pretty surprised that she packed a shit ton of food along for the journey. The funniest part is that Yang Chun doesn't even realize until a minute later that she's not supposed to be here. They lay out dinner and discuss important matters. Yang Chun learns that people are looking for him, so she naturally decides to do the same. The interesting part is how she knew he was headed for the mountain and managed to track him down. To that, she proudly declares it was just her gut feeling. It's a good thing she brought food along, because Yang Chun can survive with this. Still, he's worried about his search because there's no white tree in sight. The food she's brought is actually for 3 days' worth of sustenance, but it's still unclear whether or not he'll be able to find the tree or not. He wants to give up, and talks about how the white tree must have been a damn lie. Seola casually admits that the tree was actually pretty when she saw it. Yang Chun has a sharp moment of realization as he jumps all over her asking where she saw it. The surprising part? She actually saw it with him, which blows his damn mind. Yang Chun is brought to the place that is supposedly where she saw the white tree, but to his eyes he can't see anything. It's just a dead tree without anything remarkable about it. Seola for some reason is able to consider it a maple tree and one that is white in color. Bro is so done with her he thinks they'll have to get her eyes checked for a doctor next time. But the adorable potato argues that it's actually him who needs to get his eyes checked, because she can see the tree clearly. Yang Chun doesn't want to argue with her and thinks it's just his fault for believing in the girl. To that, the potato finds herself disheartened, stating that she's not on the list. Here comes the interesting part. There's a voice inside of her head that is commanding her and confirming about the tree's existence. But Yang Chun is still all the same, realizing that he's back to square one with nothing solved for him. With an entire mountain left to scan, things aren't looking too bright for our boy. He's really starting to consider asking help from the second elder to focus on his training instead of meandering around in a place like this. Still, he has little faith in the old man's teachings when suddenly the young master hears something in the distance and spots Seola doing something. She's found herself interacting with some kind of energy crack. From this distance alone, our boy senses that something dangerous is about to happen as she's tackling the unknown. He demands that she step away immediately, but something comes over her Seola as she reaches her hand to interact with the crack of lightning. Yang Chun dashes forth to stop her, but it's already too late as she ends up interacting with the blue spatial crack. After forming a connection, it sends ripples enough for Yang Chun to fall back. But when he opens his eyes again, he is utterly starstruck. The same dead tree with nothing remarkable about it was now glowing an impossible white color, shimmering in remarkable beauty. Seola turns to face him, confirming that she was right in the end. She gives him this cute smile as if proud of her accomplishment. Despite having the experience of his past life, Yang Chun has no idea how to explain what just happened before his eyes. A dead tree coming to life is unheard of, not to mention the fact that his girl just created a ripple through space. He wonders if she was interacting with some kind of special barrier that was meant to disguise the appearance of the tree. That still leaves the mystery of how Seola herself was able to figure that out. He asks her about it, questioning how the hell she made the tree pop up all of a sudden. But this naive and dense potato has no idea what happened. In fact, Seola doesn't even have the memory of interacting with the dimensional crack or barrier. Her reaction practically frustrates our boy because he thinks she's being ridiculously difficult for no reason. Yang Chun chooses to focus on what's important and decides to postpone the interrogation later. For now, he has to discover the treasure from the tree. From the looks of it, there's nothing special over the ground, meaning it must be around. Suddenly, a crater glowing a purple hue catches his attention, drawing him in as he looks down into the abyss. To his shock, there's an energy sphere or a gate indicating that it's the entrance to the special room. While our boy is hesitant, this girl is on another level of being fearless. She literally jumps off without even thinking about the consequences like it's an everyday thing for her. Seola tells her master to come join along before she dissolves into the entrance. Yang Chun is frustrated, but he trusts the process and takes the leap. I find it really funny to imagine that if they were wrong, both would be dead from the fall damage. Anyway, the sudden appearance of the glowing white tree catches the attention of a passerby. This random dude is rather impressed that the kids managed to bypass the barrier. Back to Yang Chun, who finds his footing and thanks the heavens that the fall damage didn't kill him. But Seola, on the other hand, appears a bit confused. Well, it's actually because before their eyes, they've got two pathways. It only begs the question which one of them leads to the treasure room. The adorable potato tries listening to her head and with conviction, believes they should follow the path next to them. With her recent development and strangeness, Yang Chun only gets more confused. Trusting in her gut, he takes the shot by following the advice. As for the random dude from earlier, he's also seen popping from the entrance and tailing them along the way. Seola's little hair antenna is out here giving her signals like a goddamn GPS, while our boy is starting to question if she was truly right this time, as apparently, there's no end to this pathway in sight. Because of the fact that the lights are diminishing with the more they carry on, he's having a hard time trusting her. Seola is still assertive and confident and follows through, until finally concluding that they've arrived. Well, it's not exactly the most pleasant sight as there's nothing here. Yang Chon smacks the sweet potato and observes his surroundings, noticing how all the self-illuminating orbs are off. There's also the fact that there's just nothing here, when he clearly expected mountains of treasure. As he's beginning to doubt his decision, the little girl worriedly alarms him of someone following them from behind. Seola finds herself startled by the sound of a snake slithering and making its way around them. The reveal is grand. It's a beautiful white snake, more monstrous than anything else we've seen in the series besides Yang Chan's massive balls. Both of them shit their pants at the sight of the gigantic demonic creature. Seola's out here crying while Yang Chan is trying his best to keep his shit together, questioning why such a gigantic monster would appear in a place like this. Not to mention the fact that this place was abandoned and empty only 1 second ago. There's just no way they missed a beast of this size and appearance. From the looks of things, and according to the monster scaling system, Yang Chan is terrified that they're facing a blue-class creature, which ranks the 3rd lowest in the system. The good thing is that the creature has yet to spot them, because it would have started attacking already otherwise. Our boy is of the opinion that it might hibernate, so it's their best chance of escaping. But right as he looked back, the white snake breaks free from its hibernation, locking its eyes with the humans. While our boy is contemplating his chances of survival against a creature like this, Seola's eyes are gleaming a confident gold, resembling the same eyes she possessed in her past life. Yang Chan internalizes that he doesn't see a fair chance of winning this battle, especially not at his current level. Their chances are slim, and an aura of frustration looms over him. He'd worked so hard to get to this point, so there's just no chance in hell he was going to let it all slip against a creature like this. Yang Chan believes that if he's going to go down, he's going to go down fighting. But as he's charging the attack, the creature actually speaks to the boy, demanding that he stop charging his energy. The fact that a demonic creature spoke to him is shocking enough. Yang Chan learns that the snake has no intention of harming them at all. To that, he questions how a demonic creature can even talk to humans. Hearing the word demonic creature makes the snake laugh, before counter-questioning Yang Chan how an unrelated outsider was able to enter the bounds of the Yan family's treasure hold. Our boy simply states that he's been doing his digging. This answer excites the creature, imploring it to ask the young boy why he came in search of this place. Yang Chan comes up with an excuse, stating that it was merely by chance. It's actually an intelligent reason, because even if by chance the snake serves the House of Yan, it would actually kill him right here for trying to steal their treasury. The funny realization is when Yang Chan catches himself calling a literal snake as Sir. Anyway, the creature expresses that the boy has come at a loss because there's nothing of value for him here. He addresses Yang Chan once more, drawing near to the boy's face and asking if the boy has any idea of what fate truly is. It's quite an open-ended philosophical question, to the point Yang Chan nearly curses at the mention of it. It's funny because the snake was somewhat expecting a rich answer, and not exactly what the boy responded with. It reduces the monster to a hearty laughter, satisfyingly enjoying the hilarity of the situation. Even Yang Chan is questioning if the damn snake is on drugs or some shit. The snake confirms that he might have asked a strange question considering their conversation. He always knew that the House of Yan was no more, but for some strange reason, the monster still stayed here in this place, unsure as to why. Perhaps it was some kind of regret, a form of punishment it gave to itself. Yang Chan doesn't want to listen to his yap session and tries to exit the situation, but the snake actually leaves them with a reward for making it experience joy for a long while. It's a golden stone that appears differently from a demonic stone. The snake understands that the stone will end up at the hands of someone else eventually, so it's best for the boy to keep it instead. While he's reaching to grab it, the creature remarks that the boy will be able to consume it more responsibly and easier than anyone else if he bears the burden of the stone. He's speaking in riddles and Yang Chan has no clue of what this burden is. The golden stone illuminates a bright yellow color, alarming the boy as it begins activating its effects on him. Yang Chan is startled and confused. He can't sense an ounce of demonic energy from this stone. His absorption technique is kicking in, but only this time, he doesn't feel like absorbing demonic energy. It's quite different, and frankly agonizing as he struggles to contain the stone's power. Then, a hand reaches out to him, gently patting his back. It's Seola, and before he's even able to recognize what she's doing, Yang Chan is knocked unconscious on the floor. And now for the grand reveal. The snake was actually extending so much of his kindness to please Seola, even though she regrets handling things this way. The girl is illuminated with a heavenly aura, her expression appearing different from the adorable potato she usually is. Actually, it's because of this aura alone that caused Yang Chan to fade in seconds, and it also runs the risk of killing him by overwhelm if she doesn't stop. The snake advises him to tend to her matters quickly if she wants the best for him. He's also quite amused that Seola is doing far too much to bend the bounds of reality. She wonders if her reasoning is difficult to comprehend to someone like the creature. To that, the snake expresses that it's quite the opposite. but it's also why the creature pities her with all of its heart. Seola counters and asks why a creature like himself willingly chose to hand over an invaluable pearl to a boy that he just met for the first time. In response, the snake states that it was the will of his heart that led to the decision. In the end, he's waited far too long for the Yan family to come and retrieve it, but the reality is, they will never come. So now, it has reached a state of acceptance as its body withers away. A reminder to us all that we should let go of the things that we can't change and just accept reality. In its fleeting state, Seola shows a look of concern, reaching to the embers of the snake's skin, questioning if the creature met so much as a meaningless fate. But when she looks at Yang Chun, something happens to her. She thinks he's a stupid clown, who despite holding his second life as the most precious, still ended up stepping in for her. This means that he valued Seola even more than the second chance he got. His action alone melts her heart, but a voice inside Seola demands that her body be returned. Wiping away her tears, she apologizes to the little girl version of herself, and begs to keep the body for just a while longer as there's still danger. The random dude from earlier ended up finding his way here, and he's impressed that the girl noticed his presence. Seola calls him a bitch of the Namgung family just as she considers the rest of them. This pisses the guy off as he readies his blade, stating that these kids were truly reckless for climbing a mountain in the middle of the night, not knowing the dangers. He's also disappointed that Cheonjun ended up losing to such a sorry state of the House of Ku when he can't even handle a mountain climb. Anyway, they came here for Yang Chun upon orders. Saying so, he puts a blade against Seola's neck, who fearlessly asks if this is upon the orders of the Namgung family, or just Cheonjun the bitch-face's bidding. Turns out that it's the latter. Having confirmed this, Seola gently taps the blade, and before the dude is even able to finish his damn sentence, his arm fucking hits the floor. This girl is a literal monster. He roars in pain and all she does is order him to be quiet. She then invokes the same heavenly blades that her grandfather also used, her hair turning into a golden color, resembling the same in her previous life. Seola wants to end this fight without waking up her precious Yang Chun. Earlier that same night, the scene cuts to Cheonjun. Let's just say bro is not having a good time as he smacks a fist down in frustration. I do have to admit that he's ripped, but that doesn't change the fact that he took an embarrassing L in front of the ladies. Dude is literally such a sore loser that he still thinks that Yang Chun must have used some kind of trick to get one up on him. There's just no way otherwise that a fool like him was able to get the better of him. Or at least that's what this arrogant prick thinks. He can't swallow getting his ass beat so hard that even punching shit in frustration causes him sheer amount of agony, especially the arm that was broken. Finally pissed off, Cheonjun decided to demand his personal guard for a task. Walmart Gojo asked him if they have been successful in any way of exploiting an opening. Mikhail, the guard, expressed that Muyon was incredibly strong, and he's someone they can't take lightly. But for whatever reason, they've spotted the young master to be away from his guard for an unknown reason. This means they've got an opportunity to strike the boy down while he's without any defenses. Cheonjun let out a sinister grin, entrusting Mikhail with the duty of killing the kid and returning with satisfying news. However, Mikhail couldn't help but remind his master that they were dealing with a member of the House of Ku, so there could be repercussions for going too far. Cheonjun let his emotions get the better of him, and ordered a full-on assassination on Yang Chan's head, believing that it was only a fair exchange for the troubles he had caused. Armed with his blade, Mikhail set off to execute the order. Lo and behold, back to the present, Bro's just lost his arm against a divine warrior with no equal. He wants to know about her identity, causing Seola to playfully ponder before answering that a shitpiece like him doesn't have to know. Before he's even able to say his second question, dude's second arm is slashed off and he's put on the ground like a whining dog. Seola's done answering pointless questions and glances softly at the unconscious Yang Qian, believing that it's going to be troublesome if this keeps on any longer. Meanwhile, Mikhail is starting to realize this job is way out of his pay grade and that he's got to run for his damn life. With what strength he can muster, he tries to take a stand, knowing that the girl is distracted by Yang Qian for now. Dude literally makes a run for it, despite his arms bleeding out like hell. He thinks it'll be a good idea to return another time. His legs running as fast as he can, Mikhail reflects that he'd never faced a monstrous opponent like this before. But just like last time, before he's even able to finish his thought, his body hits the ground. But only this time, his head is severed from it. A brutal killing. Something you could never expect from a warrior shining so brightly like Seola. The future version of Seola apologizes to the past version, stating that she feels sad for murdering someone in her body, but it was necessary. In return, the sweet potato simply demanded control of her body again. Apologizing continuously, the future Seola apologizes and makes one final request to stay for a while longer with Yang Chun while she can. Just enough for her to admire him more, but the past self inside her is infuriated and demands control of her body again, causing her future self to pull her hand back, promising that she won't make any interruptions beyond this. The interesting part is that the snake's withered body is still communicating with the future Seola, questioning if she's already leaving. She confirms having burdened her past self more than enough. The snake asks if she knows who she really is, and to that, she responds saying she's got a rough idea. Her golden swords flicker and fade away, and she understands that it will be difficult from here on out. With the snake fully withering away, it offers one final hope, a wish that Seola's future is blessed. Though she shows an expression of hopelessness and regret, Seola gives Yangcheon one final smile, wishing for a miracle to allow them to meet again one day. With that, the past self retains control of her body as her hair reverts to normal. The following day, we cut to the scene where Yangcheon finally wakes up. The adorable potato is the first thing he sees. He quickly scans his surroundings, not knowing where the hell they are. Apparently the tree is back to being its normal, unremarkable self, while the both of them have exited the secret room. The entrance is no longer there, and Yangcheon is clueless about everything that happened. Well folks, to recall what happened, in the end they found their maple tree, and a giant ass snake greeted them hello there like Obi-Wan Kenobi. The boy interacted with the snake's pearl and absorbed it fully before getting knocked out. He's trying to tell this entire story to his clueless servant who just, has no idea or recollection of whatever happened. Yangcheon tries his best to explain and is starting to think that she's actually gaslighting his ass because there's just no way she missed all of that. Seola gets irritated and mouths off the ridiculousness of the whole situation. There's just no way she was able to discover a white maple tree and talk to a giant snake after all. In some way, even Yangcheon thinks that it's a bit of a jump for someone like her. Anyway, this begs the question how they exited the secret room. Seola expresses that she has no clue and that she just found them both lying here after waking up. A sudden aching stuns our boy in his chest, but he tells her that it's nothing to worry about. It's just that his danjian is aching. At first it's nothing to him, but then he realizes something. Entering a state of meditation, the boy closes his eyes and begins channeling his aura. He's confirmed his suspicions. Ever since he absorbed the invaluable strange pearl, he's experienced an increase of internal energy coursing through his body. It's more than enough to catapult him all the way up to the fourth ring. The very fact that his body experienced a change means that he wasn't just hallucinating those events. They really did happen, and it makes him wonder if the snake shifted them up here and tampered with Seola's memory alongside it. Well, he doesn't care anymore and recommends that they leave to find Muyeon, as things will only get worse if they stay here for long. The boy thinks of an idea, deciding to try something. He lowers his body, extending his arms back, and tells Seola to hop onto his back. The idea is that it's going to be way faster if he carries her all the way down instead of walking slowly. The cute servant finds herself embarrassed because she ate a lot and feels like a burden to carry. But this only frustrates him even more, so he forces her to just get on. Seola agrees in the end and asks if she's heavy. Instead of denying like a gentleman, bro straight up says that she's definitely not light for sure. Channeling his blaze wheel of 3 rings, he allows an ample amount of internal energy to course through his body. His body erupts with incredible speed, like a projectile taking off to meet its destination. Lunging from one location to the other, Yangcheon expresses just how light he feels even with the extra weight. It's almost like he's flying with how fast he's going. The majestic view of the sun makes both of them happy as they continue their way back. Let's cut the scene to Muyeon. While things may appear to be happy and chill for our duo, this dude is out here biting his nails in worry. He's worried like crap for the young master who has been missing for an entire day. If something happens to him, bro is getting killed. To his surprise, he casually hears the same young master from behind. They've arrived home and Yangcheon is surprised why Muyeon is here. The guard roars out his anger at the boy who didn't even leave a letter or a note to inform him of his journey. Yangcheon plays it off casually, stating that he did return in one piece. And yes, One Piece is real. Muyeon sobs his eyes out. He'd assumed that the worst had happened to his young master. Wiping away his tears, he inquires for more information. Just where was he and why? Seola is in the middle of blurting out their encounter with a titanic snake, but our boy stops her shut. He casually plays it off again, stating that they were taking a simple walk is all. Muyeon is worried and suspicious, wanting to know if something happened along the way. Thinking of immediate excuses, Yangcheon realizes that dealing with his clever and questioning servant will be tough. He switches topics and asks about the 2 random people hanging around in his quarters. Those 2 random people are actually not so random at all. They're the hoes. I mean the Soyal and Bia who are munching on food without a worry in the world. Even our boy is confused, questioning if Soyal was waiting for his return. He's also pretty sure Bia made a promise not to annoy him, and yet she's here in his room. Both of them showcase different yet funny reactions. They're a double headache for our boy, who can't with these crazy bitches. Yangcheon learns that they're both actually here to bid farewell to him. Curiously, Yang Chon inquires if the Cheonjun is also here, but gladly he learns that he's not. The funniest part is that Bia told her brother that she was going off to greet Yang Chon, and all he said in return was that she won't ever find him again. Neither Yang Chon nor Bia know what that means, but anyway she raises her hand casually to ask a question regarding his situation. She wants to learn about where he went. Yang Chon is really bad at coming up with excuses because he can't even say anything before her. Bia has a request, releasing a hint of her electrifying aura as she challenges Yang Chon for a duel. Immediately, our boy acts like a damsel in distress who is so tired that he feels dizzy and wants to rest. Muyan is initially worried, but then our boy shoots him a menacing glare to follow the fucking script. This leads to Muyan kicking the annoying hose out of his room. Before leaving, Soyeol has something to give him as a token of their meeting. It's an actual invitation to join the weaponry exhibition held next year. Being the tsundere that she is, she pretends not to care whether he'll come or not. But it's a good thing for our boy, who has no interest in coming here again anyway. He simply thanks her, causing Soyeol to clarify that she's doing this only for the sake of both their families. Saying so, they leave his room. The future poisonous queen remarks that he looked normal in his reaction, but she notices something about Bia. This girl has an unusual smile on her face, which complicates things. She decides to teasingly ask Bia if she has fallen in love with the honorable young master of House Ku. The scene cuts there, and I guess a few days before the night, Seola is seen jumping like a ragdoll on the mattress, saying all sorts of childish and cute things. Yang Chan, on the other hand, is questioning if she's suffering from some kind of mental illness. Soyeol deep dives on the tradition of Thanksgiving called Chuseok in their culture, which is basically celebrated as a feast for the guests. The yakwa snack that is Seola's favorite was actually derived from this tradition. Yang Chon looks towards his annoying servant and tells her that there's no point trying to celebrate a tradition that isn't even one of their own. Poor girl is reduced to a crying puddle again, but Bia breaks her silence and expresses that there may be one way to celebrate it. All that is required is to make a wish to the moon, and then it shall grant them a wish, allowing everyone to celebrate the wonders of Chuseok. I have to remind you all that this is supposed to take place sometime before Yang Chon went on his search for the white maple tree. Focusing back on the main storyline again, we resume from the part where Soyeol questions Bia. Giving it a thought for a moment, the Namgung girl questions what it really means to like someone. The future poisonous queen turns into a cute mess and ends up being unable to put it into words. Bia switches topics and asks about the thing that Soyeol wanted to bring along. The funny part is that the invitation was originally meant for Bia, but her feelings got the better of her, and Soyeol instead gave it to her crush Yang Chon. But Bia doesn't mind and pats the little girl, stating that she did a good job for that. They both share a very sweet relationship and continue on. Suddenly, Bia experiences a shadowy allure as her vision staggers for a bit. She strengthens her resolve and expresses that she and Yang Qian will run into each other someday again. That night, the scene cuts to the Namgung family, where the clan lord learns of the things that went down in Sacheon. He remembers tasking his son to only look after his sister, and because of his reckless decisions, they lost a trusted guard. The clan head calls his son a damn fool, but not even Cheonjun has any idea of what the hell could have killed Mikhail. In his mind, there's just no way that his trusted servant was done like that, especially when he was considered one of the best martial artists around. And yet, that same reliable guy is missing all of a sudden. His father addresses Cheonjun, unleashing a ferocious crackle of lightning with every step, forcing his son's entire body to shudder in fear. You see, there's a reason why he, as the clan head, is disappointed in his son. It's not because of the boy's failure or that he tried murdering his opponent in that match. The only thing that bothers the ruthless Namgung clan head is why his son failed to cover his tracks and couldn't finish the job. For now, he doesn't want to punish Cheonjun for the mistakes he made, but he will be facing extreme training for an extended period of time. Cheonjun musters up the resolve and agrees to his father's orders. We can see him appearing breathless just in his presence. The clan head emphasizes that Cheonjun should forget his encounter with the son of the Ku family for now. This comes as a shock to the boy, who was clearly looking forward to his father's approval. In return, the clan head simply shoots a menacing glare back at his son, forcing him to avert his eyes in disappointment. He tells his son that it's only after he will take on the mantle of the clan head that he will understand why he means this advice seriously. For now, there will be no conflicts with the House of Ku. Cheonjun agrees, and to his utter despair, his father leaves a note that it's possible they'll end up sharing families with each other. Oh man, if I was Cheonjun here, I would just jump off a cliff after hearing that. Back at the House of Ku, our boy shares the exact same reaction actually. Yang Chon is fucking shocked by what the second elder said. His new engagement date is already set up. The boy offers his complaints, stating that he literally just got back from a dangerous trip to Sachon and he's now dealing with an engagement. Not to mention his previous broken engagement from the House of Peng. Elder Ryun knows about that incident, and yet he still wants to send the same dude to yet another relationship. I have to say he's kind of the ultimate wingman here, because he doesn't want Yang Chun to remain single and believes it's best to get engaged. Seola finds herself worried that he's getting in a relationship with another girl, but our boy promises her that nothing of the sort is going on. The funniest part? She doesn't even know what a damn engagement is. She thinks it's a food item. Anyway, Muyan consults the young master and confirms that the whole engagement stuff is actually real. He'd been on reporting duty in Sacheon and heard people talking about it casually. The funny thing? Everyone knew about it except for the dude who was supposed to be part of the engagement. Anyway, Yang Chun is genuinely surprised that someone took up on the offer of settling a marriage with him, given how badly his previous engagement ended. Curious enough to ask, he demands to know what kind of stupid house ridiculously signed their daughter up with him. Grandpa Ryan laughs it off, and right as he's in the middle of saying Namgung, Yang Chun finishes the sentence for him. Yeah, bro is finished. He has no idea why the Namgung family would ever even consider the possibility of tangling him. Not to mention the fact that their family has already accepted the engagement proposal from the House of Ku. The boy adds 2 and 2 together, realizing that there's only one girl from the Namgung house. Elder Ryan confirms that they've already met each other at the exhibition too. Yang Chun's face draws a dead silence. Finally it clicks, his fiancée is going to be the beautiful Bia. Well, it goes without saying that our boy is pissed that he's got to put up with a crazy bitch. Elder Ryun reminds him not to say such words against his fiancée. Unfortunately, the boy can't even control this situation as his family ultimately already decided. If he has complaints, he's going to have to deal with the head of the Ku family. To top it off, there's an even more urgent matter that needs to be taken care of. While Yang Qian is wondering what could be more problematic, the old geezer gives him a smile as he reveals that his sister has returned. The revelation cracks our boy's confidence. And no, they're not talking about Yeonsu here, but the majestic older sister and the leader of the 5 squads. Exploring the words of the sovereign fighter of destruction, he once stated that the golden era was upon their world. The birth of geniuses from every family began sprouting as if they were stars from the sky. There were many geniuses among each family, and the boy's elder sister just so happened to be born in that era. For Yang Chun, he was unfortunately always compared to his older sister, and even remarked as the unlucky child who was born in the wrong era. Even though he possessed talent, he didn't hold a candle to his sister. The searing sword, Hebe Ku, is the pride of the Ku family, a woman of boundless talent and strength that cannot be compared. It's actually one of the reasons the boy grew up despising his older sister. Just hearing of her arrival, Yang Chun's survival instincts kick in, and he's immediately trying to look for a place to hide. Any place far from this hellhole would do well, unless Grandpa Ryun comes in to stop him, of course. He isn't letting this kid hide anywhere, not even this once, believing that it's a time of reunion with his sister. Yang Chun is begging for the old fart to just pretend to ignore his existence for a while, but Ryun catches on that the boy is being dramatic over his sister's return. In reality, Yang Chun is afraid of what his sister will do to him during her stay, so he's gonna make it his business to hide for a couple of months at least. Elder Ryun grabs his head and questions if the boy hit his head or got poisoned in Sacheon because he's acting like a little prick. As they're discussing about Hebe's return, the boy hears an explosion from the training grounds, and it's enough of a sign to him that his dear old sister is coming over to him. That flaming monster is excited to meet him after all. Yang Chun doesn't share that excitement and tells Muyan to quickly make a blockade on the door, as if some piece of wood is going to stop his sister. The funniest thing is how they ended up using a damn broom to block the gates as the most reliable form of defense. The personal guard inquires what his young master will do once his sister breaks her way inside. From the other side, Hebe laughs, almost annoyed that her little brother blocked the door when she was so excited to see him. Even Muyon is shocked when a mere touch of her hand forms cracks on the gate. When she has a good sight on her brother, she destroys the door and sends Muyon flying. Striding towards him, Hebe is pulsing with a crimson aura as she questions why her brother is being such an annoyance. Yang Chun probably thinks he's about to see God after this, but she simply waves him hello and recommends that the boy greet older people when he sees them. She's also surprised that he's standing still without doing anything. The question confuses Yang Chun, who inquires if he's supposed to be doing something else. Quickly recalling his mistake, the boy kneels in front of her, respecting her rank. Hebe doesn't demean him or anything and simply pats his head. She's glad to meet the second elder as well after a while. Grandpa Ryun tells her that he's amazed to see that she's still maintaining her reputation as the leader of the sword squads. Hebe isn't the egotistical type and humbly offers praise to her hard-working squad members. While our boy is hoping for a plan to run from this place, Hebe addresses her little brother and wants to know if he knows about the 2 mistakes he made. Yang Chun confesses that he tried blocking the door and running away, which is funny because she only thought of the first thing and not his plans of running away. Suddenly, a thought clicks in his mind and he asks if he made a mistake defeating Yeonsu. The news of him defeating Yeonsu in a battle baffles Hebe. She clearly hadn't heard the news, so it comes as a shock. But seeing her being unaware, Youngchun doesn't get why she's so mad at him. Placing her hand gently on his head, she points to the boy's engagement. Something so important that he didn't even mention once. It really pisses her off that he got engaged without even consulting her. As she's about to murder our boy, Youngchun desperately tries to explain that he too was unaware of his engagement until today.